You're listening to the Rebel Rebel podcast with Rory Carson. Tasha Vigeshtak, leis an fod curly Rebel Rebel, le Rory McCarson.
Well, folks, good afternoon. How are you all doing? Welcome to another Rebel Sundays on the Rebel podcast, multi-streaming live here on YouTube, on Facebook, on Twitter, right through for the next 3 hours till 4 o'clock here. Myself, Big Row, folks. I can see, just look at that picture on the screen now. I've kept it up there. Just let that sink in. What happened this weekend here, folks, in the north? Normally, I don't like displaying that little graphic at all, you know. But we are living, all of us in the north anyway, in such a thing called a statelet, is what it is. And when you think back, the way back in the days, whenever the UUP had total control of Belfast City Council, and it was Ulster says no, and this and that, and Ian Paisley was standing in front of the City Hall. No. Just look at that now, folks. Just look at it. there'll be many people watching this show today, busy deflectors of Sinn Féin and not supporters of Sinn Féin. But all I'm going to say is, folks, is I personally have my total trust in these two women on the screen now. A few years might turn off and go, well, we're not listening to this show if he's going to be a busy a shinner, this, blah, blah. But listen, I could be more proud of the party this weekend for what they've done. Absolutely amazing. So that is just look at that graphic here, folks. It's just crazy. So I think it's time you've seen me here, is it? And you're sick of looking at Michelle and Mary Lou. So folks, here we go. So yeah. Or am I? There I am there. So welcome along. So as usual, folks, if you can please share the stream. If you're watching on Facebook, just hit the wee share button and put it down to any of your groups. If you're part of any Celtic groups, Rebel groups, Irish groups, whatever you want, send it around your friends and family. And it'll be much, much appreciated. So cheers. If you're watching on Twitter, welcome along. We're getting more and more followers on Twitter every single week. Probably more to the stuff that I'm putting out on Twitter. People maybe just looking at it for a bit of scandal, you know. Like I would be involved in any scandal at all. But yeah, if you're watching on Twitter, please give the show a wee retweet if you could. Big shout to Wally Charlie, just seen him watching there on Twitter. Good man, Wally. Of course, if you're watching on our main platform of YouTube, you can copy and paste the link and just copy it around, send it to any of your friends and family on any of your social media pages, whatever. Just copy and paste the YouTube link. So yeah, folks, we're here to 4 o'clock today. So welcome along. Any of your questions you have, please give us a wee shout. Put it in the comments section. I see there's loads of requests coming through already. We'll get the first few shout outs out after this here first song here. Of course, first song of the day there was the Wolf Tones and A Nation once again. And I think probably no better song to play the start of the show today after what happened in the north this weekend. Basically, biggest party in the executive that isn't sitting at the minute. Although a lot of people that watch this show probably think the executive shouldn't even be in existence. Maybe in the that sort of category myself. But listen, that's where we are. And it's until such times as other things happen, that I think that's the best way forward. But listen, when that'll be formed again, who knows? But we are the biggest party there. We're the biggest party in local government, councils all over the north, and probably, you could probably say in the whole island of Ireland, the biggest party. So let that sneak in there to you with Jim Allister. I seen his face yesterday, a few pictures of him. He normally looks like a real just wee, but he was extra more grinchier this weekend, which is always great to see. So right, the first song we're going to play today is obviously he was doing the research for today's show, today's guest, Marty Healy, and it was getting a lot of sort of songs. We're going to be playing 2 songs from Marty. Of course, Marty's going to be on, folks, live here 2 o'clock for you. Really looking forward to this one. I've admired Marty for a very, very long time. I mean, go as far as saying I've had a man crush on him from the first day I've sort of seen him playing, the first day I met him. Just love the guy. He's just 100%. So really looking forward to having Marty live from Derry on the show there at 2 o'clock. So as I was looking around during the week for what songs I was going to play from him, obviously I had to dig into the sort of Notes from Derry albums. All 3 of them. Marty's been heavily involved in at least 2 of them anyway. So, but one song I want to do, because obviously from the first time I heard this song, I fell in love with it. So a big shout to the Jerry Breslin, for actually writing this song. As far as I know, from what Ronan told me, he never actually sung it. But so it was Alban Norby who sung it on the Notes from Derry, the Stories of the Land, the Shanachie sessions. Of course, the song is called Elizabeth O'Farrell. It's all about a nurse, Lizzie O'Farrell, who was really played a massive part in the 1916 Rising. But if you listen to the song and the words in it, probably the most controversial bit of it is that whenever they had like a photograph of all the leaders of the Rising and stuff later on, Elizabeth was airbrushed out of it, because it was basically saying, oh, this is a man thing, it's all men, whatever. And in the song you can hear say, yeah, but where is Lizzie? But you can still see her feet in the picture, but she's been from airbrushed out of the song. So it's a real cracking song. I think Alban Norby, the best man to sing this here. So here we go, folks. First official tune of the day. This is from the Stories of the Land, the Shanachie Sessions. This is Alban Norby with Elizabeth O'Farrell on Rebel Sundays.
Born in Dublin in 1884, she cared about people and wasn't selfish to the core. In 19 16, she served in the GPO to the end. Dispatched to her comrades, dodging bullets for her friends. And the nurse is a Paro, Elizabeth O'Farrell, is without fail Ireland's Florence Nightingale. Running down Mur Street with the white flag in her hand, the people of Dublin, well, they didn't understand. With instructions from Pierce, she sought out General Lowe, carrying terms of surrender. Through the barricade she'd go. And the nurse is a Paro, Elizabeth O'Farrell, is without fail Ireland's Florence Nightingale. I've seen an old photograph after Pierce took off his sword. The opposing commanders meet, but there's something untoward. I'm looking at three soldiers stand, yet the scene is incomplete. They've airbrushed Elizabeth out, yet we can still see her feet. And the nurse is a Paro, Elizabeth O'Farrell, is without fail Ireland's Florence Nightingale. At the time it was a man's world, woman knew the place, but a few like Lizzie raised her head above the crowd as she weaved around the outpost, knowing they'd made a vow to die. But reluctantly they laid down their guns and came out. Paul Street Hospital, a monument bears her name, for the loving and devoted nurse to the people she became. Her legacy's clear to see, though in the picture they tried to erase. Elizabeth O'Farrell's fame will be memorized always. And her nurse is a Paro, Elizabeth O'Farrell, is without fail Ireland's Florence Nightingale, is without fail Ireland's Florence Nightingale.
There you go, folks. There's Elizabeth O'Farrell there from the Notes from Derry, the Stories of the Land, Shanaghy Sessions album. That is Alban Norby, of course, who owns the bar in Derry. Lizzie O'Farrell's obviously took the name from that song. A phenomenal song. So obviously we'll be talking to Marty all about his sort of involvement in those albums, along with Ronan and Paddy Nixon. So looking to get a great feedback on Marty now. So jump into the shoutouts here, folks, who we have all watching this afternoon. Let's see. First up, Scott Temperley here watching on YouTube. How you doing, Scott? Good afternoon, mate. What's the crack? Jim McCaff watching on YouTube. Cheers, mate. John Boy McElhenny. Hello, Ro, fellow listeners. Got my wristbands the other day. Roll on December. Can't wait. Yes, folks. So to anybody who pre-ordered wristbands already for the big fans gathering in December, they were all sent out last week. So anybody who's going to be going to Shannon in a few weeks, have yours there. So don't be thinking, he hasn't sent me in. So Marty, have yours. I'll give you James, have yours. Kathleen, have yours as well. So I give them just to you in an envelope whenever we hit Shannon there on the 3rd of June. So anybody else who ordered them online, they should have got them by last week anyway. So if you haven't got them yet and you've ordered them, just give us a wee PM. There's James. How you doing, James? Did you finally get into the house? I seen you posting that Shay locked you out there in the early hours of the morning and you couldn't get in. I'll teach you freaking out the hours of the morning drinking, won't it, mate? For God's sake. Marty, what's crack, Marty? Good afternoon, all. Is your garden seat safe after our elections? Crazy. Just crazy, mates. What is? Let's see, Roland McDonald, what is crack? Roland, afternoon, Ro. Looking forward to a great show. Roll on September. Yes, indeed. Looking forward to seeing you, mate, over in Puerto Rico, Gran Canaria. Well, lads, it's the Moral Drum Sinn Féin coming there in County Louth. Well, Ro, maybe a wee spin of Martin Doherty on his 29th anniversary, if you have it. Yes, Pat, not a problem. I had planned to play it today anyway, because I know yesterday was the very, very last ever parade that the Rising Phoenix Flute Band from Dublin took part in. Obviously, yesterday was Daco's anniversary parade, so it was. And we'll sort of talk more about this here later on after I've played a Daco song. But really, really sad to see. I have a lot of friends in the Rising Phoenix Flute Band over the years. Obviously, they sort of have the nickname of the small but mighty. But like for such a small band, they made some noise, and they were one of the best bands on this road. But unfortunately, just over the years, they just couldn't keep the band together, couldn't keep enough interest in the band, which is a shame. I mean, the only Republican flute band based in Dublin, I mean, this capital of this country, and there wasn't enough interest to keep the band on their own, which is the road, which is it's a bit shocking when you look at it that way. But so just really sad to see the guys doing their very, very last parade yesterday in Dublin. Richard O'Callaghan, fellow Lenadunier, living in Dublin now. Hello, Dublin 15 Blanchardstown. Can you play 90 miles from Dublin town for the two men 42 years ago today? Let's see, Paddy Keenan watching on Facebook. Another 2 hours of great entertainment. Jesus. Another 2 hours? Well, I'm here for 3 hours. Who's this here? Ray. I still haven't received my wristband. Right, Ray, listen, the only which you did tell me, let's see the ones that were sent to the south. Derek, did you get yours yet? Let me know. So I think it was 6 envelopes sent to the south. So let me know if you got yours yet. But Ray, they should have been with. I posted them on Tuesday. But you did say that it might take up for a week to the ones to the south to get there. Like the ones that I posted on Tuesday for Scotland and in the north here, they all got them the next day, which was crazy. But I had to pay a lot more postage for the ones to the south, but yet it takes them longer to get there. So listen, if they haven't got them by early next week, Ray, let me know. I'll arrange to get more sent out to you. Ciara Griffin, how you doing, Ciara? Good afternoon, everyone. Good to see you already in Asda there, so it was. Charlie, good afternoon. Let's see what else we have. Ciara Mack, with a bit of just giving me abuse as always. Michelle, easier on the eye than yourself. I think even Mary Lou's a bit easier on the eye than myself. So she is. There's Celine, well, early in the day. So she is. What's the crack, Celine? Good afternoon, Rory. Kathy Cardwell is watching today on Facebook. Happy days. Shane Smith up in South Derry. How you doing, Shane? He's looking for Freedom's Walk. Craigie there says, Ro, asked him a story about the stag do in Budapest, singing Horse Outside. Craigie, listen, if I didn't get Marty Healy on and not ask him about this here, like, Jesus, that'll be a travesty. So, of course, we're going to be asking about this here. Don't worry, mate. Right, so we're going to play the next here track for you, folks, on Rebel Sundays. I'll actually need to get this here link sent across to Marty so we can get signed in very, very soon. Right, so next tune we're going to do today is we're going to play a bit of one of the songs actually from the album we put out there for Rebs for Hope. This is from the Rebel Hearts in County Tipperary, and this is the Galtee Mountain Boy, folks, on Rebel Sundays. Here we go.
Sentence for to die. Oh, farewell to Tipperary, said the Galtee Mountain Boy. We went across the valleys, over the hilltops green, where we met with Dilly Lacey, Sean Ho Galtee mountain boy.
Brilliant potty there on the old flute. Just had to just get that last bit in there, didn't you, mate, potty? Yeah, it's Rebel Hearts here, folks, from County Tipperary with the Galtee Mountain Boy on Rebel Sundays. Myself, Big Row, folks here. 1:30 already. The first half hour is just flew in, so it has. So great to have you all on. Again, share the stream, folks. If you're watching on Facebook today, give us a wee share. Much appreciated. If you're watching on Twitter, give us a retweet if you could. Right, back to a few more comments. We'll start from the bottom and up, and then see we'll have on who else has jumped in this last half hour. James McMullen is watching today on Facebook. Good morning, James. Neil Costigan. Good morning from Staten Island, New York. It's bright and early, 8:30 a.m. Good morning, Neil. You love it, so you do. Fair play to you. Gary Sharvin was looking for the streets of New York. Maura Burns over on Cope Bridge. How you doing, Maura? What's the crack? Sydney Deering watching the day from Seattle. Happy days. Cheers, Sydney, as always, for tuning in. Who else do we have? Jerry Catlin, is that? Jerry Catlin. Happy Sunday from the Garngad. P. O'Neill was looking for Take It Down from the Mast. Let's see, there's Tara. What's the crack, Tara? Up there in Cushion Doll. How you doing? This is good for having on today. Elaine there. What's the crack, Elaine? Anne-Marie says, I haven't got mine yet. It's strange, I posted yours on Thursday, was it? Maybe Thursday or Friday. So if you haven't got it by Monday, Anne-Marie, let me know. It's crazy to think that the ones that were posted to Scotland got there before everybody else. That's crazy. Kathleen, how you doing? What's the crack? Martin says, yeah, Daco saved a lot of lives. Yes, definitely did indeed. Obviously, we'll have many people on talking about that there, about the Widow Scotland's pub on what Daco done that night there. He'll always be remembered for it, so he will. James says, yeah, I will never learn. James, you won't, mate. Seriously, you're always for a bit of crack there. Anthony McGill, what's crack, Anthony? See you next week, sir, for the night for Jammy. Yes, folks, so hopefully see a few of you there in Crossmaglen next Saturday for the night for our dear friend Jamie. Actually, I'll just put up the flyer here now while we have it on screen while Anthony was talking about it there. Where are you? Here we go. Yeah, so there's a night happening next Saturday at the Cross Square Hotel in Crossmaglen, folks. In memory of our dear friend Jamie, who passed away as a former member of Finnan. So music on the night is going to be from the lads from Finnan. It's the first time they're going to have played an instrument, played on stage since Jamie's passing. Going to be very, very hard for him. Stefan from West Belfast will be playing as well. And the Coolies from just up the road there in the Cooley Mountains. They're going to be playing. I'm going to be doing a few tunes maybe before and after the bands, plus hosting the whole night. So hopefully see a few there, folks. It's £10 in. Doors open at 7 o'clock, and all the proceeds are going to be going towards the local youth club in Crossmaglen, where Jamie was like a volunteering member for many years. And I know right now they do need the funds. So hopefully we'll see a few of you there, folks. If you are, come say hello. Next Saturday at the Cross Square Hotel in Crossmaglen. Right, so this today, folks, 20 years ago, crazy to think, this here happened. This team here, folks, on the screen, took to the stage, the massive stage at the UF Cup final to play then Jose Mourinho's Porto team. What a team that was there. And look at the team Anne just put together now there now. So we have Big Bobo, who gets sent off there. Mialby, Big Johan's good friend, Chris Sutton, Rob Douglas, Didier Gaff. And you see that was the last time they wore actually the NTL on the tops. That was the new kit there they wore for that season. I think it was Carling was the sponsors from the season onwards, but I think it was the sponsorship with the NTL was to the end of the season, so they had to wear it there. And then there's the man Stilian Petrov, Neil Lennon, Joost Valharen, Alan Thompson, the king Henrik Larsson himself, who scored 2 cracking goals that night, so he did. And then Paul Lambert, folks. It's mad to think 20 years ago today, 2003. I know where I was that day. It was crazy. That was back in my days of sort of watching days of working for Tom Duffy Circus. There's a wee, if any of you didn't know, yes, I did work for Tom Duffy Circus, and I wasn't a clown, I wasn't a strong man. I basically just put the posters up for them, but I did travel around Ireland all year round. It was the best job I ever had. But so it was staying. We were staying around Derry at the time. So I actually went up with my friend Kieran Devine's house, who I was living in America with, and watched the match in Kieran's house. So that, and at the end of the game, it was like, I was like, oh, we're going. So they all started running there. I said, where are you all going to? Oh, we're all going to start rapping with the cops. I was like, what? And of course, I didn't get involved in this here. I was like, well, I'm going to shoot on, but and next went out, seeing there was murder in the streets. Next to it was just people. I can't understand why they went out and started just basically throwing bricks and petrol bombs at the pillars, just because basically Jose Mourinho's team cheated Celtic out of a UEFA Cup. But it's mad to think 20 years ago today, folks. So we're going to play a song probably in honour of that there match. Great Celtic song written by Kevin Miles, folks, called Celtic, My Heart and My Soul. So here we go for that great team, Martin Healy's team, from 20 years ago today, folks, that went to the UF Cup final against Porto and narrowly lost out to some severe cheating by the Special Ones team that night.
Oh, Celtic, 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 my heart and my soul. I followed the teams of the past and watched history unfold. Going to Parkhead with my dad and my brother. It's true what they say, we're a club like no other. The colours that flow through my veins are all green, white and gold. The sun, it shines down as we're walking along London roads. The Green Brigade burst into song and the jungle explodes. So what does it mean to be Celtic, and how does it feel to pull on the hoops and be fearless like Billy McNeil? Oh, Celtic, 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 my heart and my soul. I followed the teams of the past and watched history unfold. Going to Parkhead with my dad and my brother. It's true what they say, we're a club like no other. The colours that flow through my veins are all green, white and gold. They came in their thousands to Lisbon and Jock had a plan. He understood football was nothing without the fans. We went to go down before Gemmell and Chalmers would save us. Our jerseys don't fit second best or inferior players. Celtic, 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 my heart and my soul. I followed the teams of the past and watched history unfold. Going to Parkhead with my dad and my brother. It's true what they say, we're a club like no other. The colours that flow through my veins are all green, white and gold. Oh, Celtic, 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 my heart and my soul. I followed the teams of the past and watched history unfold. Going to Parkhead with my dad and my brother. It's true what they say, we're a club like no other. The colours that flow through my veins are all green, white and gold.
There you go, folks. That's Kevin Miles there with Celtic, my heart and my soul. And we're playing that song today because obviously today, 20 years ago, Celtic played Porto in the Youth Cup final, and just so close. And I just remember like talking on the when they're doing the commentating and the punditry beforehand, and they're busy saying about Henrik Larsson saying this, and this is the night he needs the big players need to step up, and what he done that night, like the 2 cracking goals, like, and just the rolling. It's just it's hard to think now. The rolling around that Porto team done around the bloody deck in that match was just heartbreaking, and like as much as you can say about Jose Mourinho and what a brilliant manager is, and what he like probably one of the greatest managers of all time since that there, like, but that night, like, it's still heartbreaking to even think about. So it is. Right. So just talking of Celtic, folks. So next week, right. So obviously we probably shouldn't be on the show next week. The way obviously we're doing like every 2 weeks now. So really, we should be on the day, and then next week off, and then the following week on. But the following week is the 3rd of June when we're going to be in Shannon. Going to see Clover, so obviously we're not going to be here that day, so I'm going to do a show next week. So we'll sort of come up with the idea to do like an end of season review of how Celtic have sort of limped over the sort of sidelines for the last couple of games. Yesterday was just like, it was hard to watch, so it was like lucky we got a draw. So, but we'll have had a fantastic season. So we'll have, obviously we're going for the treble on the 3rd. So going to have 3 guests at the same time next week. Normally we'll have the guys on top of Celtic. We'll have one of them on the phone and the next one on the phone. Because obviously the new platform we're using with the StreamYard stuff there on the screen, I can get all 3 of them on the screen at once, which is going to be great. So we'll have Tony Whitelaw from the Four Tims podcast. Very, very famous guy. I swear he's loving it. It's actually starts calling himself Irish Tony because I think he's busy based over here now with Krista and Derry, so he is. And that seemed to be sort of his hashtag when he's heading off to Scotland on the weekends. Oh, Irish Tony heading off again. And the guy in the middle who is from Ireland, Keith Corcoran, who has now moved to Glasgow, so he has, who sort of went the other way. He's from the Come On the Hoops Celtic podcast. And then this man at the end who needs no introduction, but we'll introduce him anyway. Tony Coleman, a really good friend of mine. Tony is just down the street, but he's probably the most well-known Celtic supporter in West Belfast, who he is. So Tony has just a depth of knowledge to talk about Celtic. So it'd be great to have the 3 lads on. Right, so we're going to play the next song here. Then we're going to do the first song from Marty Healy, and then we'll get him live in the show in the next maybe 10 minutes. So somebody asked for the Merry Ploughboy, so we'll play this here from Chris Carney, and then we're going to do the first song from Marty Healy on the show.
Well, I am a merry ploughboy, and I plough the fields all day, till the sudden thought came through my mind that I should run away. For I'm tired of this slavery since the day that I was born, and I'm off to join the IRA, and I'll be off tomorrow. And we're all up to Dublin in the green, up the green, where the helmets they glisten in the sun, where the bayonets flash and the ripples crash to the echo of a tonsing. Well, I leave behind my pick and spade, and I leave behind my plough, and I leave behind me old grey hair, full of war, but I need them now. And I leave behind It's a girl that I adore, and I wonder if she'll think of me when she hears those AKs roar. And we're all up to Dublin in the green from the Queen, where the helmets be glistening in the sun, where the bailiffs slash and the rifles crash to the echo of its own symphony. And when this war is over and dear old Ireland is free, I will take her to a chapel on the hill and a rebel so it shall be. Well, some men they fight for silver, some men fight for gold, but the IRA are still fighting for the land that the British stole. And we're all up to Dublin in the green, where the helmets will be glistening in the sun, where the painted slash and the rifles crash to the echo of its own signal. Yes, to the echo of its own signal. The Red Playboy.
There we go. That is Chris Carney here, folks, with the Marty Playboy. We request that one in the comments there. So what we're going to do is we're going to play the first song here from Marty Healy, and hopefully by the power of the internet, we should be see Marty appear on the screen just as soon as this song's finished. So we're going to do maybe one rebel song from Marty and one that isn't sort of maybe rebel at all, but it's sort of it's probably one of the most favourite songs that I've heard Marty playing over the last few years. So obviously, when Marty coming from Derry, I think there's only pretty one song we can really do. It's, of course, the Ballad of George and Pop. So this is one that was recorded by Coach a few years ago when Marty was doing a gig with Gary Oak in the Hart Bar in Cork. So it's a great reversion of this here song. So here we go. This is Marty Healy, folks, with the Ballad of George and Pop on Rebel Sundays. And then hopefully, once this song's finished, we'll have Marty laying on the screen and we'll do his interview for you today.
This is a song called George and Pop. On the slopes of the Craigan, one morning in May, four lads left their base with hearts young and gay. Their cause was for freedom, a cause on day and night, and the foreign oppressor they went to defy. While patrolling our streets, they met with the foe, and with guns at the ready, our lads had to go. And so we'll raise up our hands and we'll curse our British land, who torment the very hearts of men who dare to cross their path. But my heart is broken too. Won't you tell me what to do? They couldn't stop our George and Pop, and they'll not stop me and you. For the place, it fell silent when the shooting died down. Two young lads lay there dead on the streets of our town. It's another 2 lives lost to the ongoing fight, and in Derry we mourn on that faithful night. And so we'll raise up our hands and we'll curse our British land, who torment the very hearts of men who dare to cross their path. But my heart is broken too. Won't you tell me what to do? They couldn't stop our George and Pop, and they'll not stop me and you. Now Georgie and Pop, well, they like old as stone, They that fighting for Derry, their own native home. So always remember, don't you ever forget, they that fighting for Ireland and we owe them debt. And so we'll raise up our hands and we'll curse our British land, who torment the very hearts of men who dare to cross their path. But my heart is broken too. Won't you tell me what to do? They couldn't stop our Georgian pop, and they'll not stop me and you. They couldn't stop our Georgian pop, and they'll not stop me and you.
Cheers. Right, folks, unfortunately we haven't got Marty Healy. He might only be signed in now, so he might be. So I'll wait if he pops up on here. I'll get him on as soon as he comes on. So well, but I seen some of you were saying there. What the hell was that there? The interference coming through there. Do you know what happened, folks? I was trying to get Marty's his next song lined up right for after that one, just so it would just sort of flow in from the end of the interview, and I accidentally hit one of like Josie's games that was on this here tablet that I use for the Spotify. And you heard a wee bum, 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 in the back. I was literally frantically trying to get it closed before the opening music kicked in of the bloody stupid game. And then, of course, it started going through Marty's song there. So my apologies if any of you heard that there. The interference coming through in the middle of Georgian pop. Folks, that's what it was. Just me being professional as ever. So let's see. We'll jump with a few more comments here. There's Marty. What's crack, Marty? You still over in Santa Ponza? Seen you posting there yesterday at the big screen. Martin Heaney says, yeah, Big Johan will be raising. He's missed his favourite ballad. Right, I think we'll have Marty here now. Hopefully, let's see. There he is there. Right, 2 seconds. We'll just get this here on the screen. You there, Marty?
Right, what's the crack, bro?
Right, we'll get this here, buddy, overlapping thing off here. 2 seconds. There we go, that's us. Marty, listen, welcome along, mate. Thanks very much for joining us on the show today. It's very, very much appreciated. I know you're a busy man. Laying in bed these days. Every time I seen you send you a message, you're always bloody yawning. So you are, for God's sake. I don't know what the hell to be doing. So you don't. But listen, mate, yeah, thanks very much for coming. It's a great honour to have you on the show. So as we always start off with the guests, we always go for the very start. So tell me about whereabouts did you grow up in Derry?
Abercorn Road, just off from the bog. So if you've ever down in the bog, just past Friday Corner, there's a flyover.
So the Abercorn Bar is in just up the corner there. Yes,
just across from the Abercorn Bar. It's called Moran Avenue.
I used to deliver the beer to that bar, so did right. And I think it was the first day I was delivering the Derry. I fucking missed the keg, thrown it off, and the keg rolled right down the hills with it, and near into the bloody river. So it did. That's mad. See, that bloody I seen there somebody posting about that there another lorry getting stuck in that hill there. Come down, you see it? Come down from the water side. It comes down. There's a mountain of signs there. It says, "Don't, if you're a HGV, don't drive this down this hill." And every day, somebody drives down it. Oh, that's nuts. But I'm listening. So off topic here. So obviously, Marty, Derry has sort of seen its fair bit of trouble over the years. Obviously, you've sort of been raised up there, and sort of it's a sort of big Republican heartland. You've been sort of singing rebel ballads and sort of playing rebel bands. Would you sort of have grew up then in like a Republican family?
Not necessarily, no. I mean, you know, my parents were not kind of politically minded or involved. Obviously, they grew up in the heart of the troubles and that, you know. But even speaking to the older people, even kind of who were probably just kind of, you know, growing up towards the end of the troubles. It was probably people were trying to move forward and maybe not speak about it, like. But obviously, as you grow older yourself, you kind of, you know, you learn your own history, and you kind of just through speaking to kind of older people in bars and listening to stories and that, you kind of obviously make your own mind up, you know. But no, so I wasn't directly kind of involved, you know.
So how did you sort of get into the sort of scene that you're in now, obviously playing sort of like the rebel stuff and the folk stuff? I mean, who then sort of would have been a bit of an influence on you sort of starting out playing like what you're doing now?
Probably in terms of a main influence. Initially, my first gig ever was on the Abercorn Bar.
Right.
And obviously a lot of my friends' followers and that were kind of, oil blanket men and that. So just kind of growing up there and, chatting to the likes of Paul Doherty's followers shop and Bloody Sunday and that, they would always be kind of singing old songs in the bars, like, and, up whenever anybody's playing.
Yeah.
So off the back of that, I had my first gig in the Abercorn. Then probably when I kind of mainly get on it, I started playing in Pater O'Donnell's down at the bottom of Waterloo Street. A fella called Ramon Ferguson, no doubt. I would say he's probably been my biggest influence so far in terms of getting into music. Is he
the guy that played the guitar on Beeswing when you recorded it? Was it? I remember you saying that was Ramon played it. Right.
He's more of a traditional kind of player, but
yeah,
he's phenomenal. But off the back of that, Marty Healy and Alban Norby had just taken over the Castle Bar at the time, along with Conor McLaughlin, and it was actually Mickey and Alban giving me first solo gig. They gave me Thursday nights in the Castle, and they just kind of says me, I was never really I could always sing, but I was never kind of confident or comfortable playing guitar, So they kind of gave me the push that I needed, and I was playing there every Thursday night then. So kind of off the back of that, was probably where Kelly's Men came. Kelly's Men were kind of formed probably 3 or 4 years kind of prior to Mickey asking me to come along. One of the first gigs I played in was down in the hills of Donegal Festival in Bundoran.
Well, it's actually going to talk about there. That's the next question we're going to say. But obviously, I've said this for many, many years, Marty, that I sort of think that like Derry, for me, is like the capital of Irish music in this country. Like, so does. I just think there's so many talented musicians. I mean, all over. I mean, you can go to a bar any night of the week in Derry, and you'll find somebody playing, let's say, rebel stuff, trad stuff, even just having a bit of a session. It's just so many talented people. You've been involved in it for a good while now. So who sort of would you say, like, is there any sort of really well-known sort of Derry musicians or artists that you would sort of look up to that are sort of involved in the scene that have been from the start, like?
One of the bands kind of years ago that I always loved, and it's not rebel music, a band called the Thumping Jellyfish. They're a cover band from Derry, and I always the first time I heard them, I thought, fuck, these boys are quality.
The Thumping Jellyfish?
The Thumping Jellyfish.
Right.
That was and then I ended up covering a couple of gigs along with them whenever their singer was away and that. But outside that, kind of more recently, I've grown to know Dickie McLaughlin. So Dickie's,
phenomenal. Yeah.
He's got a serious kind of catalogue of songs, and obviously Run Uphill and the one that Gary sings, I Believe in You. It's like, it's just as reference to kind of Derry and the Troubles, and kind of from a working class backgrounds.
It's amazing how underrated Dickie is as well. I think a lot of people just don't know who he is. I mean, like, you go and see when he's maybe if Damien Dempsey's playing, obviously Dickie be covering or playing support for him a lot of times. Like, people going, who's that guy there before him? You're going, that's Dickie McLaughlin. Like, I mean,
it was down in Galway, Limerick, and then Vicar Street there before Christmas, and I went down for the run along with him, more for a drink than anything.
Do you want an excuse for a drink, Marty?
But it was unbelievable, like, the response that he got, and it's probably his own kind of fault that he maybe doesn't try and market himself as much. Yeah. But it's like anything, it's just getting a break. Do you know what I mean? I know he's got a lot of things going on in America at the minute, which hopefully might kind of turn the corner for him. But no, any credit that he gets is fully deserved. He's unbelievable.
Yeah, thanks, Marty. I think I first sort of came aware of you. I mean, as a singer was it my second year going to the Hills Donegal and the Bundoran, so it was. And say you were playing that night with Kelly's Men, you were, and I think I sort of knew who Kelly's Men were before. I think we booked them for a gig for the flute band a few years ago for first seeing using playing. I think it was just actually Mickey and Kieran Davenport was playing that night, so it was two of them. It was like a wee sort of two-piece thing. And I think from the first time I seen obviously used on the band playing like live, it just blew me away. So then honestly, just but I've sort of said to you a few times, it's just your whole not giving a fuck attitude, like, I mean, where like you aren't too serious, you don't, like, I know you could probably go out in the piss all day and just go in, as you said yourself, like, yeah, but when we have to do the job, we'll go and do it, I mean, go on the stage. And so just tell us about the whole Kelly's Men thing, and like how you got it involved with the band, and basically the sort of the setup of it and whatever, who else is in it.
So Mickey, initially in the band, Mickey started it with Ronan
Ronan,
McDonald,
yeah.
and a fella Pete Kavanagh as well from Derry. So that was the initial kind of lineup, and then off the back of that, like there's been numerous musicians from Derry, and obviously Kieran Davenport, and you know, there's been a list as endless, like, of musicians that's played along with Kelly's Men over time. And you're exactly right in what you're saying. You know, we don't take things too serious. We're not directly involved in any kind of politics or anything. We play music for the love of music, and that's the bottom line. Do you know what I mean? You know, if we can make a few pounds along the way, and obviously I'm full time now, so you know it's becoming an income. So, but as I say, it was the first time I played with him was the Hills Donegal in Bundoran. Andy Doherty was there as well playing whistle. So Davy Doherty, I think, and actually Rory, the drummer, was playing bass. So again, Rory's an unbelievable musician and well known all around, you know, kind of wide circles in Derry and further afield. Like, but he played bass, and Ramon Ferguson actually played mandolin one of the years in Bundoran. So kind of from that it evolved. Rory and Davy were obviously mates from school, like back in the 1950s and 60s. You know,
I think Davy will be here saying it.
So Rory started drumming, and he brought Davy and they played bass, and then it wasn't long after that then I joined. Like, but Sean McCaffrey as well. Sean was in the band before I was.
Yeah, Sean played on the live album, didn't he? He played.
Sean played live. It was probably one of his last gigs with Kelly's Men.
Yeah.
But again, like, you know, Rory and Davy kind of probably come from more of a kind of rock background, so it gives it a different drive.
Yeah.
You know, even like timing and that, you know, it's completely different to anything that I've ever.
So what I think when you listen to that live album, it's very sort of Mumford and Sons-ish, only for like a rebel band. I mean, I think especially like the Foggy Jew. It's the way it comes in, the way the drums and all, or whatever. And it's just it's like no way a rebel band's meant to play. If you get me, you know what I mean? I think it's probably the same with our Rogue when they started. People were like, "What? You know, drums in a rebel band?" And all that, whatever. I mean, that's not going down well. And it's usually sort of just went and said, "No, we're going to do this." And it just sounds. The sound you do is just like. And you're talking there about Rory. I'd never seen a drummer before standing up playing a drum kit. Like, I think it was they were playing Patter Browns. You know, they have a wee small stage. Like, and I just is he standing up, or is he just taking a break or something? But he was really playing the drum kit, just standing up. Like, I was like,
that's madness. Get that stage. That's what happened.
It's a wee small stage. Like, so this, I think see what a lot of people say to me as well about Kelly's Men. It's a bit unfortunate is you just don't play enough. I know that's not maybe a bad thing, but I think it's just obviously the layout of the band. You all do your own thing. Obviously, Mickey's heavily involved in, with his shop and with the whole like his bigger gang, as I call them. So there's like but obviously. But a lot of people say, well, you never get the seasons. They only play maybe a few certain gigs a year. But is that like what it is? And you basically just pick and choose what gigs you want to do when you can do them?
Not necessarily. It would be more a case of when we can. You know, we wouldn't pick and choose. You know, we just whenever we're all available. I mean, probably I might have been kind of the main issue just until kind of I left the job, because I was working weekends. So, you know, it was whenever you only have 2 weekends off a month, and then you have your own stuff going on as well. It's difficult to get us all together at the one time.
Yeah.
Like Andy Doherty, the whistle player, he's in the Shetland Islands working now. So,
was he? What's he doing over there?
Laying trunking or something for something to do with offshore cabling or something like that. Right. But so we have Kieran Curlin playing whistle and Nightways in the 7th.
Oh, brilliant!
So that's what I'm saying. Like, you know, it's, you know, we're happy-go-lucky, and if somebody can fall on, and you know, kind of we still make things work. But we've got Santa Ponza now at the start of June, and then we're going to Gran Canaria at the end of September. Then we have a couple of gigs during the summer, you know, kind of local festivals and out of that. But no, we sat down there at the start of the year and kind of put on dates to see who was available when. So hopefully that's how we'll work going forward and try and get a few more gigs in.
Spoke there about the live album. We were talking about there that Sean was playing on. I think I try and play as much live music in this show as possible. I think even when I do my gigs, I try and play like any Rebel stuff, try and play live albums. But I think for me, Marty, this here live in the Craig album, it's the most played album in this show, honestly. I think I've played every single song from it. And obviously there's obviously there's a load of videos on YouTube of the recording of the night itself. And here, I have to say, it looked like a wild night, like what did from our live recording of madness.
Oh, it was madness. We obviously we went up early doors and set up them. Paddy Nixon recorded the album live, so he was on setting up cameras and whatnot. And then there was a few technical issues, so we just ended up having to kind of get the doors open and get people on. But it was obviously the Crescent's Mickey's local bar, like. So you had all the Crescent heads, and then you had obviously friends and family, and then just kind of fans in that came. But it was madness. There was people went through bench seating and everything, and this wasn't wrecked, but it wasn't far from it. Like
to say so, I think it was actually a few taps off. Would you say your taps off by the end of the gig? It was. So a few people have mentioned this already, Marty, in the comments here before we've done this, and I was definitely going to put this in. So I think one song that sort of didn't make the album that night that was played, because I actually have the recording of it that I usually play, is the band's version of A Horse Outside from the Rubber Bandits, which I'm raging you didn't put on the album. Like I thought you would have, because it's probably one of the most well-known songs you've done. So obviously, you and Mickey went viral on the internet for this video that was recorded from your stag do, which is why a lot of people sort of ask you to play this song and stuff now. So what I want to do is, if there's anybody that actually haven't seen this here, the video, if you've lived in the moon or whatever, you mightn't have seen this video. So I'm going to play it, Marty, right? Because I found it on YouTube the other night, right? And then obviously we'll just sort of talk about, you can tell us exactly how the whole thing happened, all right? On the night in Budapest. So here we go.
Back to the hotel, and if it goes well, it'll ash it. Said Fitzy drives a Mitzi, and he offered me a spin. And the drives a Honda, so I might just go with him. Derek Gibby said he'd bring me in a Subaru. So what the fuck would make you think I'd wanna go with you? I said, fuck your Honda Civic, I've a horse outside. Fuck your Subaru, I got a horse outside. Fuck your Mitsubishi, I've a horse outside. If you're looking for a ride, I've a horse outside. She said, I don't believe you. I said, it's fucking true. I swapped them for a bag of yolks in 1992. I don't need insurance, I don't need no parking space. And if you try to clamp my horse, he'll kick you in the face. I don't pay no tax, fucking CT. You'll arrive in style if you ride with me. And the boys are looking over, jingling their keys.
There you go, folks. So that was we didn't play the whole video. It lasted about 2.5 minutes. So Marty, actually, that night there, so what basically happened? I think you told me before, you were just down there in the street and you seen these two wee girls busking or something, and what did you say, get your guitar? We're going to sing this, or what happened?
More or less. We were, I was lit on the night, like we were well mixed at that stage, but the horse heads, we passed the stall, there were 35 in the stag do or something, and probably about 30 of them all bought a mask each. There was horse heads, donkeys, reindeers, everything. So we were walking down the street, and obviously myself, Sean, Alban, and Mickey, and there was a pile of musicians on it. Like, so there was two young girls sitting busking, and they're very good, but we just came over and says, and they were a wee bit naive and kind of
as you would be, it's the drunk guys from Bloody Derry going, "Here, get your guitar."
So we must have sang about 4 or 5 songs, but that was the last one that we done. And,
okay, right.
I had done it kind of previously in bars in Derry, but there was no kind of people didn't pay much notice to it. Like, but I just always enjoyed the song. The lyrics and it's unbelievable. And it's basically the Rubber Band. They just went, who gives a fuck? No, what people think that we're just going to do is what we're doing. Probably somewhere they kneecap. Like they do what they love. They write what they believe in, and fuck anybody who doesn't like it. But
see your big girl's guitar. It sounded very like out of tune or something. Like was it? It's just maybe the way Mickey's playing it there, but I don't know. But it just sounded like it was like some wee kid's guitar that I have in the house. It was just like strings loose and all, whatever. I don't know.
Could have been. I can't even mind it well.
You said you were promised a load of money or something by Joe.ie or somewhere, weren't you, for like the royalties or something in that video? You didn't get.
So it was a friend of mine, another singer in the town, Gavin McLean. He valued it and he sent it on the Lab Bible. No, you ever Lab Bible used to have
Yeah.
Give you £100 for a video, whatever. So like Lab Bible has over 30 million views or something now, and then there must be 40 or 50 million views on it. Like, but it wouldn't have got as far as it went if it wasn't for Lab Bible, but we didn't get the £100 off him, and I'm still not happy.
Like you've been framed now, your 25 quid video, like, or it was. Aye. Doesn't Marty, another sort of album or maybe sort of series of albums that I've played a lot in the show is the ones that sort of Ronan and Paddy done, the whole Stories of the Land, the Notes from Diary collection of albums. You have been a massive sort of part of and all, maybe at least two of them albums, but again, massive shout out to Ronan McDonald and Paddy Nixon for putting the work in that there's them compilations. So firstly, Marty, tell me, how did them albums come about? And after you were involved in two of them when you sang Beeswing, Mountains of Pomeroy and Go Move Shift, so did they sort of come to you and say, we want you to sing these songs, or do they say, listen, do you want to be on the album, what song do you want to do, or what way did it work? Or
so obviously the first album was in memory of Jerry Mack, Ronan's dad.
Yeah.
So I was school with Ronan on St. Joe's, like, but it's probably obviously you leave school and you kind of move apart, like. But since I started playing the town again, obviously Ronan's always out and about, like. So he just wanted a pile of local musicians just to kind of pay tribute to his father, and he kind of left it up to us in terms of what we wanted to record. And
right, okay.
So, obviously, I had picked Beeswing at the time. Still love it. You know, it's probably one of the most requested songs I get. Still, like, so. I had done that. The second one, I think, was near a local charity. I'm not entirely sure of what charity it was, but and obviously they moved away from obviously the first one was a tribute to his father. The second one was kind of more geared towards kind of rebel songs, you know. And I had initially picked Go Move Shift, written by you and McCall, obviously. But whenever we were down in Paddy's recording it, Ramon started playing the Mountains of Pomeroy, and I started singing it, and Paddy looked down and goes, "Fuck," says, "That's beautiful, we should record that." So we recorded it and kind of just basically winged it, one take, recorded it, and it turned out all right. So Paddy asked me, would we stick it on the album? I says, "I no bother." And then obviously he worked his magic on top of it then with the backing vocals and whatever else.
Obviously, whenever the albums were being recorded, I'd be sort of contact with Ronan. They'd be saying me, a few clips, going, "Want to hit this one, that there." And obviously, if you show me pictures, and it's literally like all this is happening in Paddy's house in his living room, like drum kits and all, literally just in the middle of his front room in the house, and you're able to record like 3 albums of like the perfection that these were, like just done like in this guy's living room.
He's got a studio up the stairs actually, which some of the vocals and that's done on, you know, but obviously, you know, wider things, and whenever we were kind of practicing for some of the live albums, everything was done in his living room, like, so.
Brilliant, like.
It's a serious setup down there, some serious equipment.
And I think, see, when you look at all them 3 albums, and obviously nearly everybody, I think maybe all musicians from Derry, like, they're involved in it, so they are. When you look at it and look at all the names of all the people who've sang on them, it's some talent there, Marty, like, for to come from a city like which isn't that big, like.
No, that's unbelievable, and like even the first one, obviously Dougie was good mates with Jerry Mack, and then but on the first album, Jerry McGowan from Panger Band, he sang "Roll Back the Clouds" as well. Was he a mandolin player maybe with Panger Band? But I grew up around the corner from Jerry, like. But I, you know, such a broad range of musicians, like, all on it, and you know, obviously met more people who was involved in the album, man, that, you know, that I hadn't known before. So it was brilliant, and even to this day, like, you know, it's probably well streamed on Spotify and Apple Music. You know what I mean?
So you've sort of started playing you've been doing solo gigs for a while now, yeah, but obviously you've just said jack your job and go ahead at the music full time now, Marty. Next, so obviously a massive sort of plunge to go like full time and do this here. So was this a sort of decision, like you were sort of trying it out and going, listen, like, all right, the work's there, I think I'll be enough here to get me sort of the jack my job completely. And how's that sort of went for you from the start doing it?
Playing, hey, I can't complain so far. Ask me in 6 months' time, I could be calling the walls.
Back in the call centre again.
Hey, honestly, can't complain at the minute. There's people have been nothing but supportive off the back of it. Like Albans going to be giving me like every Tuesday and Aussies, kind of trying to pick up gigs during the week. They kind of just keep things taking over. And obviously, Search Promotions have got me some great gigs further afield. Just kind of putting me in contact with people further around the country. And then off the back of that, you've got your kind of the festivals and that, whereas previously you only have so much annual leave in a job. So you can only take so many holidays, where I'm away foreign once a month now nearly until Christmas time. So but a big part of that as well, my wee boy Marty, he's 10 now, and I have a wee girl, Emer's 3, and I was working 7 days a week, and you miss a lot of them as well. So it wasn't directly driven by music. The thing of leaving the job, and I'm not saying I'm never going to work again, but when things are going well and I can enjoy a bit of family time and obviously travel a bit and see a bit of the world, and after speaking to the wife, it's probably the right decision to make. So hopefully it's what
does she think about you doing all this here, going ahead and made all these gigs in Santa Ponsa, Gran Canaria and all that? Is that going down well? Or I know a few people have sort of said like, I told her I had to go for work, and they're like, I dead on your way for 2 weeks and a piss up, like, so you are like.
Well, she's going to Santa Ponsa.
Okay. Right.
There's a pile of mates and kind of wives and partners going to Santa Ponsa as well, so she's going to that. But hey, as I say, it wasn't to say that it's a change. I was doing this anyway.
Yeah.
It's just because I was on top of my work, like, so. We've bought her a wee holiday home down in Carrickhill, so whenever I'm away, she can be down there with the wains.
Right. Is there do you have any like management or anything behind you? I mean, it's sort of, I know that you have somebody looking after your social media and stuff, whatever that kind of way, looking at uploading all your gigs and all and stuff. And
Trevor's been looking after social media, fair play to him. Obviously he works with Gary as well, like, and he's unbelievable what he does. Like, he's just I couldn't constantly stay on top of it as much as he does. Like, But no direct management. I mean, Search Promotions have been more than good to me. Obviously working with Dixie and Alexa Santa Ponsa and that, and then we've made contacts in the States and that as well. Kind of just through the years of traveling over in there, kind of the Dubliner in Boston, Bourne, and the Mickey Feeney in the College and that. So hey, it's as I say, you don't necessarily need a manager whenever you have friends like that. So
looking after you, yeah. Obviously you were speaking there then about going to Santa Ponsa here. I remember, I think it was when I was speaking to you in the gig at the Derry City Club there last time I seen you. We're just busy talking about the state divisions we're in the Santa Ponsa last year. Dixie's gig, like, obviously this year it's a bit different. It's a full on to bigger event. It's a whole week's thing. It's taking place actually in like a nightclub this one night. So it is like. So you got to be on your best behaviour now. If the missus come over with you this time, you won't be getting the state you were last year.
She's not coming over to Thursday. I'm going on a Monday, so.
Okay. She might find you land somewhere. Taking onto the stage in the big square or something too. Well, but so the whole band's come over this time to play. I know you were filling in playing with a few bands last year, weren't you? You were playing with Gary and stuff and whatever.
Well, no, it was me and initially I was supposed to play one night just myself, but obviously like Kieran and Connor out of Glasnevin, good friends, like, and I will definitely owe a lot to Emmons as well for in terms of kind of making connections in Glasgow, and they put me up in their houses and things, and it's just nothing's ever a bother, but Connor couldn't go to Santa Ponsa, so I played with Kieran, and then Kieran was playing Man Love Me Shabine as well. And
so this is before Kieran was off the drinking, so it was. Seen the videos.
Well before that. Then on the Wednesday, the second day anyway, I kind of Crookie and McGinty and Alan Conrad were all down in the bar, Kieran as well, and they rang me and I kind of woke up a couple of hours sleep on me and said, well, down the bar. So we went down here, but as the hours went on, it got closer and closer to the gig time. So McGinty, I was supposed to be on my own as a one piece. McGinty and Crookie came in. Crookie played bass, McGinty drummed, and then a couple of members of Irish Brigade, Michael on the keys, and the big fiddle player. They call him again.
Adam, yeah.
Adam got up then, so it ended up a good gig then as well on the Wednesday. So hey, but that's the way I am, and
That's I know, yeah,
what you touched on with Healy's man earlier on, and majority of musicians are. Let's have a good time and play a bit of music and see how it goes.
I think when I've seen them advertising this year, it's going to be starting off actually pretty late, isn't it? It starts at 11 o'clock at night or something. Because I think it's the gigs.
I'm not 100% sure. To be honest, I think the gigs may be on during the day, and then maybe it opens up then as a nightclub at night. Maybe.
Right. Okay. Sure. I was looking at the poster for it, and I wasn't actually sure what time the times were. I know it's taking place in a nightclub. Yeah. So obviously, you're Mickey is moving over the Hills Donegal, the Gran Canaria this year as well. So he is, and you're going over. I'm looking forward to it myself going over. Massive big step to make. Like obviously we're being Bundoran for so long, and obviously, but speaking to Mickey, and he's more or less saying, listen, there's no choice. There's no accommodation, and the accommodation that is there, they're just ripping the arse of it, charging people up to near €300 a night and all.
But you know what? That's the thing. Like I kind of. Our family had a caravan in Bundoran years ago, and that's where I kind of spent most of my summers kind of growing up. But even speaking to, like, there's a fella, Dermot, down there, has a wee guest house. He's in the Donegal Council in Bundoran, like, and we were down last summer, and he's saying that they're totally booked out, but the place is dead because there's not, as much as all the accommodations sold out, there's a lot of Ukrainian refugees in there. Fair enough. But whenever Mickey's looking at it from a business point of view, obviously he had to make a decision. But fair play to him because it's a big move to take. But on the flip side, I was chatting to people who were kind of been regulars at the festival, and they're maybe some of them were school teachers and things, and maybe went Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and back and couldn't get the Mondays off and that. So obviously it's going to affect different people in different ways. But hey, good luck to them, and as I say, we'll be fully supportive of it, and hopefully it works out in the long grass, So
obviously, I was speaking to O'Malley last night, so this hasn't been announced yet, but he has sort of told me, he says you have full permission to sort of, obviously, Marty can let us know. So you're going to be heading on tour with Gary Oak in Australia this year. So tell us all about it. What's the plans then?
So obviously over the years too, I've got friendly with Gary, and through Search Promotions done a pile of gigs along with him. So just kind of speaking to him over the past couple of years, I've always says, Australia would be great, whatever. He pulled me probably at the start of this year and says, it might have been Trevor actually, can't mind, but we were just kind of always chatting about it, and he says that how would you fancy going to here? And I says, I would need to see the crack they work, to make sure I can get on that. And then obviously with me leaving and having that bit more freedom, everything kind of fell into line. I've been dealing with the promoters not over there now, so
is there like a
Caitlin Tierney? So
see, talking about going to Australia, is it the same as if you're heading to America? Do you need proper, like, are you just going like a travel visa, or do you need a visa or anything if you're going to Australia? What way does that work?
Oh, I know that'll be full. Everything's above board. Full visa and that. So, they're the promoters, Troubadour Music. They're dealing with all that side of things. So
Brilliant. So November then, is it again?
November, end of November. A great experience. So I say, obviously, can't thank Gary and everybody involved enough. Like so, nice seeing another part of the world and playing a bit of music. Have you
ever been in Australia before? No.
Never. Hey, there's a lot of Derry people and friends and people that I used to work with that over there in different parts as well. So through chatting to a lot of them, and they'll be obviously they had went to Gary's gigs previously, and they're all they're meeting up again. So
so good luck with. Really pleased you getting on. So after I opened up the interview there, Marty, with your version of George and Pop that was recorded in the Hart Bar in Cork. I think I was one of the nights you were playing with Gary. Coach put it up, so he did. So obviously, this song's a very, very popular sort of song on the show. A lot of people ask for it every single week. Obviously, whenever I'm doing like my live gigs, it's actually the Kelly's main version I play. So this, because it's just, I think the atmosphere from that CD that night, it gets people going. You think you're actually at the gig. You know what I mean? I think even for the Fields of Athenry one, whenever obviously you sort of break it down, get the crowd singing. Even when I'm doing my gigs, the whole crowd would sort of go up and sing as if you're there. So obviously I think maybe about the same with this song here, George and Pop. But that was the one you recorded that night in the harp. So tell us a wee bit about obviously coming from Derry and being at a Republic. And what's sort of this song sort of mean to you when you sort of sing it? Because it is a very popular sort of song for a lot of reasons for people from Derry. Like,
well, the fella that actually wrote the song would have been fella Paddy McGlinchey, who drinks on the Crescent. And I mind kind of sitting chatting to him about it. He wrote it on jail, like, and obviously sent it out. And Dougie had put the music to it then. But you know, obviously it tells a story of George and Pop, and you know, kind of what happened that day. And obviously, whenever Peggy McCourt died recently, then kind of you're hearing all stories.
Yeah.
You know, obviously what happened, but you know, if you can pay tribute to anybody and kind of doing it through music, you know, you can obviously it's like a celebration of life, like, you know, and obviously what they've done for the cause and the people of the area, like, so it's just, you know, I'd be kind of more of a ballad singer than I would be kind of, well, I can obviously you have to do hard-hitting rebel music as well. I always think kind of my voice kind of lends more to ballads.
It's the more Mallory stuff, like
and again, whenever I actually started playing on my own, doing the one piece and that, you know, it was probably one of the first songs that I kind of was really comfortable in playing, and off the back of that, it's just kind of grew, and obviously the recording and the harp. Whenever people have access to it on social media, it just it becomes more popular. But you know, George and Pop and Danny, all the songs about volunteers from Derry, they're the most requested songs on Derry. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
Derry people kind of seem to support each other, and obviously remember their dead, and through music's no better way. Like.
Definitely. So I'm going to play one more song here, Marty, before we let you go. So this one is it's from the Notes from Derry, from the Story is the Lamb one. It's a track originally obviously from Ewan McCall. Obviously Christy Moore made the song really famous, Go Move Shift. So obviously I think this track here, the reason I picked it for, it's probably a perfect example of obviously so many musicians coming together and putting one track together, because you can listen, there's so many instruments in this song. So tell us a wee bit about who's involved in this one, and obviously when it was recorded and stuff. Obviously this was part of the second album.
That was the second album. Ramon's playing guitar on it. Kieran Kierland's playing whistle. Kieran's brother Stephen is on the accordion. The percussionist, kind of man. So
is it actually a drum kit?
He's got a drum kit on it. Seamus Mallah.
It's very late. It's not really noticeable. I know you can tell there is sort of percussion in the back of it.
He had a kind of a broken down kit and Paddy's whenever he was recording it. A couple of bongos and that. But so Seamus was on percussion, Kieran on whistle, Stephen on accordion, Ramon on guitar, myself on vocals, and then obviously there's backing vocals on that as well. Yeah,
but that's why I picked this one, because I think it's rather than just sort of you singing with a guitar like the first one we played, this one here, it just brings back the whole thing we're saying about the Derry musicians. The whole city is just it's a wash of just talent, like, so doesn't it? And you're definitely in there with them. So you are. So Marty, thanks very much, mate, for coming on the show. And I say I'm sure I'll see you in Gran Canaria. I don't see you before it there, so looking forward to it. So all right, mate. Cheers.
Brilliant.
Good luck.
Man, cheers.
There you go. Thanks, mate. All right. There you go, folks. That was Marty Healy, live from Derry today. Happy days. So cheers for coming on, Marty. Much appreciated. So we're going to play the second track from Marty and I with pick form. This is Go Move Shift. Obviously, it's a track originally written by Ewan McCall. Christy Moore sort of made the song famous from probably on his Live at the Point album, so it was. This is from the Stories of the Land, the Shanachie sessions. As you heard, Marty just told us there who was involved with the song. And big shout out to Roland McDonald and Paddy Nixon for putting this whole albums together, all three of them, because obviously between at least the first two anyway, I know it takes a good bulk of my show most weeks playing tracks from these albums. So fair play. So it's Marty Healy, folks, and the rest of the lads from Derry with Go Move Shift on Rebel Sundays.
Born in the middle of the afternoon on the horse-drawn carriage in the old A5. The big 12-wheeler shook me bed. You can't stay here, the policeman said. You better get born in someplace else. Move along, get along, move along, get along. Go move shift. Born Born the coming by a building site where the ground was rotted by the trail of wheels. Local Christian said to me, you'll lower the price of property. You better get born in someplace else. Move along, get along, move along, get along, go, move, shift. Born in the back of a hawthorn hedge where the black hole frost lay on the ground. No eastern kings came bearing gifts, instead the order came to shift. You better get born in someplace else. Move along, get along, move along, get along, go, move, shift. The eastern sky was full of stars, and one shone brighter than the rest. The wise men came so stern and strict and brought the orders to evict. You better get born in someplace else. Move along, get along, move along, get along, go, move, shift. Wagon, tent or trailer born last month, last year in the far off days. Born here or 1,000 miles away, there's always men nearby who'll say, you better get born in someplace else. Move along, get along, move along, get along, go, move, shift. Move along, get along, move along, get along, go, move, shift.
There we go, folks. That is Marty Healy there for you with Go, Move, Shift from the Stories of the Land, the Shannon Sessions album. So cheers for Marty for coming on the show. Legend as he is, I knew it was going to be a great chat, so it was. To say, he just has that attitude of he doesn't care, no mean, but he's still a phenomenal musician. Like I know he spoke there, but Marty plays the cajon, he plays the sort of whistle, he plays the guitar. He's just so talented, and I definitely put him up there with all them guys that were mentioned from Derry as like one of the best musicians to come from this country. So yeah, loads of great comments coming through there just for the interview. So cheers, everyone. Much appreciated. So if any of you are enjoying the show today, folks, as you can see on here, so this is if you want to donate to the show, give us a few quid for keeping the show going this Sunday. You can donate through PayPal, that's the bottom one there, or the one at the top is for Revolut, you can see it, and that's PayPal there. So just scan your phone over them and it'll bring you straight down. You can donate as little or as much as you want. So cheers to everybody. Every week, every show we do, there's a good regular batches who always throw me a few quid, so thank you very much. You know, folks, it's very, very much appreciated as always, so thank you. Right, so I think it was Richard earlier on that asked for 90 miles from Dublin Town, so we'll go to this one here, the Christy Moore version. Obviously we played a song there Christy was sort of made famous for, Go, Move, Shift. So it's Christy Moore with 90 miles to Dublin. And I think this song here, we talk about Cruncher as well, Terry Cruncher O'Neill, whenever I had him on the show, this was, well, not this show, it's when I interviewed him up in the Roddy's Club for the audio podcast, and we were talking about his influence and stuff, and one of the first songs he ever learnt was this song, and obviously he got the cassette. I think Christy was playing like basically there was a march for basically to free the prisoners, what it was in Dublin, and Christy was playing on stage, and they were selling cassettes to this here song, and obviously Cruncher said he went and got one, and he just practiced it until he got it, and it's one of the first songs he done. So Richard, this one is spicy for you. This is Christy Moore with 90 miles to Dublin Town.
I'm 90 miles from Dublin Town, I'm in the hedge block cell. To help you understand me plight, the story now I'll tell. I'm on the blanket protest, my efforts must not fail, for I'm joined by men and women in the Kesh and Armagell. It all began one morning, I was dragged to Castlereagh, and though it was 3 years ago, it seems like yesterday. For 3 days kicked and beaten, I then was forced to sign confessions that convicted me of crimes that were not mine. Sentenced in a diplock court, my protest it began. I could not wear their prison gear, I was a blanket man. I'll not accept their status, I'll not be criminalized. That's the issue in the blocks for which we give our lives. Over there in London town, oh how they'd laugh and sneer if they could only make us wear their loathsome prison gear. Prisoners of war is what we are, and that we must remain. The blanket protest cannot end till status we're again. I've been beaten round the romper room because I won't say sorry. I've been frog-marched down the landing and dragged back by the hair. I've suffered degradation, humility and pain. Still the spirit does not falter, British torture is in vain. I've been held and scalded in water while my skin with X-scrubs was torn. I've been scratched and cut from head to foot, then thrown out on the floor. I've suffered mirror searches, been probed by drunken bears. I've heard me comrades cry and scream, then utter useless prayers. Now with the news that's coming in, our protest must not fail. For now we're joined by 30 girls in Armagh Women's Jail. So pay attention, Irish men and Irish women too, and show the Free State rulers that their silence will not do. Though it's 90 miles to Dublin town, it seems so far away. There's more attention to our plight in the USA. Now you've heard the story of this filthy living hell. Remember 90 miles away, I'm still in the hedge block cell.
It's Christy Moore, folks, with 90 Miles to Dublin Town. Spicy for Richard, that one there, so it is. Let's see, right, so Peter O'Connell, they had to tune out for a bit. It was either Row or Five Little Ducks from a wee baby, and we're afraid the Ducks one on YouTube. Mate, listen, wait until you have to start watching Peppa Pig. You've all this fun games to come, mates, you have, because we thought we got rid of Peppa Pig long ago whenever Josie finally got out of it, and then obviously Maeve came along 7 years later, and is it 8 years later? 7.5 years later, and we're back through the audience, and I may have just obsessed with Peppa Pig, and I found the other night, we're sitting at the dinner table, right, and we'll have like a tablet just for Maeve. So she sits here in her high chair, and Josie sits here, Laura sits there, and I sit here. So literally, so I had like Peppa Pig, and you can't not zoom in and watch this thing. It draws you in the whole storylines of the show and all. So it does. But literally, Laura says, "Oh, she needs her bum changed," and little did I know, like Laura had the child away upstairs, changed her arse, put her pajamas on, brought her back downstairs, and by the time I was still sitting watching Peppa Pig on the tablet. Mate, it's crazy, but it really zones you in and it just sucks you in to watch it. So it is. It's scary. Let's see. Terry, guys, I've been banished to the room with the door closed tight, so Rab can't hear me singing. Were you singing 90 Miles there, were you? Let's see. Martin Healy says, let's remember Patsy O'Hara and Ray McCreesh today. Is that their anniversary today, is it? See, I didn't know what there. You go, I should have known there. So today is Patsy O'Hara and Ray McCreesh's anniversary, so it is. There we go. I think we might have to get the Ray McCreesh song on later on then some stage. Let's see. Joseph McGuy says, that's why I like your interviews. Good to know the artist's backgrounds. Cheers, mate. Thank you. Kay Whelan says, great interview. Cheers, Kay. Paul says, rule giveaway, shout out to the wee hoops. 13 games unbeaten and in the cup final against Ballymoney. Who's that, DC, is it? Something called Celtic. James Bevan McClive. Another great interview. Really enjoyed it. Cheers, mate. Thank you very much. Right, let's see. Marty says, great interview. Marty is a legend. Just like yourself, Marty. Terry says, I'm patiently waiting on Damien Quinn. Ro loves Peppa more than the Wayne. Well, that's just one of them things. Marty, what can you do? I have to look at it with my grandson. I'm sure you do, Richard. You watch it as well, don't you? Joseph, it says, let's see, I remember going around Patsy's coffin when I was 12 or 13 at his funeral. The hunger strike shaped my politics. There we go, right, crazy. Right, so next song we're going to do, obviously, we're speaking about Martin Doherty earlier on there. And Pat had asked me to play a song. So this weekend is his anniversary. And as I mentioned earlier on, yesterday was the very, very last parade for the Raising Phoenix Pump and Flute Band from Dublin. I've known a lot of the members very, very well over the years, got really friendly with them through playing in the flute bands throughout my life. And the Raising Phoenix was always there. I mean, say they were, even if they've only had 6 members available, that have been there and done the parade, you know what I mean? It's sad to see that a band from a city the size of Dublin can't basically support, and maybe it's a financial thing as well, I mean, from the party down there, or basically other interests that they couldn't keep that band on the road. It's really, really sad situation to see. So obviously they had no alternative but the folded band. Yesterday was their last, so this was their last Easter parade they done, and yesterday was their very last Martin Doherty commemoration. So it was. So right, so we're going to play the Martin Doherty song now, folks. So this is Daco's song. I think it's Spirit of Freedom singing this one on Daco's anniversary weekend. This is the Rebel podcast, folks, with myself, Big Ro, right through till 4 o'clock.
Throughout this lovely land, many stories has been told, and songs about our martyrs, of heroes brave and bold. But there's none that's more greater than the ones held so high, who gave their lives for freedom and the cause for which they died. And Martin Doherty told me many years gone by, I fought for Ireland's freedom, and for this I'll die. Born and raised in Finglas, with a family staunch and true, in his young days he always dreamt of and his heart he always knew. For the fight for Ireland's freedom against the forces of the crown. So he joined the IRA, the Brigade of Dublin. And Martin Doherty told me many years gone by, I fought for Ireland's freedom, and for this I'll die. Many years he spent in prison, a place we all know well. Those days he thought of freedom while in a portly cell. The years and months went by, and his day of freedom came. The struggle for his country with the path he chose again. And Martin Doherty told me many years gone by, I fought for Ireland's freedom, and for this I'll die. On May the 21st, the year was 94. Outside the widow's gallons, he was standing by the door, when a group of cowardly gunmen, a bombing in their sight, was stopped by an IRA soldier on that fatal night. And Martin Doherty told me many years gone by, I fought for Ireland's freedom, and for this I'll die. So farewell to you, Daco, farewell, a soldier brave. Your life so cruelly taken, and many lives you saved. You died on that evening, so others they might see a land of peace and freedom and of liberty. And Martin Doherty told me many years gone by, I fought for Ireland's freedom, and for this I'll die. I'll die. Yes, you fought for Ireland's freedom, and for this you died.
There you go, folks. That's the ball. The Martin Doherty there from Spirit of Freedom. 29 years ago this weekend there. So it was 29 years ago. Martin Doherty basically saved countless lives. I'd say the Widow Scanlon's pub when UVF tried to target it, tried to blow the place up. But obviously he stepped in and paid for it with his own life. So he did. This here photograph here, actually Aidan Brown posted it up a few weeks ago. I think it was. As you can see. So this is actually the Irish Brigade playing that night in the Widow Scanlon's. So it was. So I'm not sure. Is that young who is that is playing the bass there? I know what there's Martin McNally, is it? And then Jerry Glacken, Mickey McNally. But who's playing the bass out there? That was talking about 29 years ago there. But that was actually then that picture was took the night of the gig in the Widow Scanlon's. That their incident happened with Martin Doherty. So there you go, folks. But yeah, just I think it's important to put them graphics on the screen there while that song's playing. So it's 29 years, and again, folks, Martin Doherty will always be remembered by all of us for what he done that night in Dublin. Right, so what are we on? We're now 10 to 3, so another hour and 10 minutes to go, folks. So if any have asked for a song yet that haven't played it, let us know. But put it back in the comments. I'll try and get it on. Let's see. Moral Drum, thanks, so not a problem. Cheers, all right. Let's see, Anthony Hart. Joseph McGill as well. I said, yeah, the mom was a hero. Tara, wee Mickey, indeed, wee Mickey. Martin, well, Anthony Hart, are your tears dry yet? Obviously you're talking about the match last week. Here, but listen, fair play to Armagh. They put on a great game, but I think the one say what a lot of people sort of said about the match last week was if you watch Rory's stories on Facebook, obviously not me, Rory, who does the other bally head guy in Dublin, Rory's stories, he was done like a sketch, basically saying like, most people are sitting watching the screen at the match going like, because actually Armagh were in orange, and then Derry, instead of wearing their normal like their white and red stripes, they wore their red with white stripe, and it was very, very confusing to watch. So it was trying to see that screen of who was playing who, what team was what. I'm sure that probably the players found it even harder. I think that's maybe as well the whole maybe amateurish bit about the GAA. I know it is an amateur sport, but surely they may have looked at these two kits and went, hold on a second, they're far too alike. So they are. Maybe Derry should wear their white and red instead of the red and white. You know what I mean? Marty says, yeah, it was close, but thought we were going to lose it at one stage. Tara is looking for the Hills Around Dunloy by Emer. Anthony, let's see, he says, no tears from me, Mr. Heaney. Pure bad luck we had last week. Definitely not a way to lose a final. No penalties, like it isn't. It's yeah. But I hear that our Armagh keeper was good, so he was. Fair play to him. Right, so what do we have on next? What's her face? Yappy. Terry was looking for Damien Quinn. Normally, she's only asked once now today. Normally she's going, Damien Quinn. Damien Quinn. So Terry, we'll do this one for you. So obviously we're talking there about Patsy O'Hara and Ray McCreesh. It's their anniversaries as well. So we're going to play the Rule of Honour. So this is from Damien's album, the one he recorded for the Hunger Strikes anniversary. The Hunger Strikes anniversary. The album was called The Song of the Lark. Obviously entitled his own song, The Song of the Lark. So this one's for Terry as well. And of course the families of Patsy O'Hara and Ray McCreesh on their anniversaries today.
Be the roll of honour for Ireland's bravest man. We must be united in memory of the tan. England, you're a faster, don't think that you have won. We will never be defeated while Ireland has some sun. In those dreary heads, black cages, then brave young Irishmen lay, hungering for justice, while their young lives edged away, for their rights as Irish soldiers, and to free their native land. They stood beside their leader, the gallant Bobby Sands. So read the roll of honour for Ireland's bravest man. We must be united in memory of the tan. England, you're bastard, don't think that you have won. We will never be defeated while Ireland has such sons. How they mourn Hughes in Balahi, Ray McCreish and Armagh Hills. In those narrow streets of Derry, we miss O'Hara still. They're so proud they gave their lives for to break Britannia's hold. Their names will be remembered as history unfolds. So read the roll of honor for Ireland's bravest man. We must be united in memory of the tan. England, you're a bastard, 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 don't think that you have won. We will never be defeated while Ireland has such sons. Through the war-torn streets of Ulster, the black flags that sadly wave to salute 10 Irish martyrs, the bravest of the brave. Joe MacDonald, Martin Herson, Gavin Lynch, Kieran Dougherty. They gave their lives for freedom with Thomas McElwee. So read the roll of honor for Ireland's bravest man. We must be united in memory of the tan. England, you're a bastard, 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 don't think that you have won. We will never be defeated while Ireland has such sons. I go divine from Derry, you are the last to die. With your 9 brave companions, a martyr dead you lie. Your souls cry out, remember, our deaths were not in vain. So fight on and make our homeland a nation once again. So read the roll of honor for Ireland's bravest man. We must be united in memory of the tan. England, you're a bastard, 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 don't think that you have won. We will never be defeated while Ireland has its sons. No, we'll never be defeated while Ireland has its sons.
I'm going to slow it down with a ballad this time of 2 great volunteers, Henry Hogan and Declan Martin. It's another Irish Brigade song written by Jerry. A song called The Hills Round Dunloy. Speak with pride the names of Martin and Hogan, volunteers that were valiant and true, and they grudged not their young lives for Ireland. It was proudly we bade them adieu. In their youth, how they longed for freedom, spared on by the taunts of the foe, and they vowed that they would not bow down before them. In the footsteps of Hughes they would go. Weep not for our passing gallant comrades. daily cheering. Might weave high o'er the hills round Dunloy. It was on a mild February evening. Henry Hogan in full battle dress set out with the gallant Declan Martin to engage with the foul SAS. And England's pride on that evening was humble. Man to man they led two of them low. It was then that a hidden assassin opened fire as they turned to go. Weep not for our past and gallant comrades, but fight on for this land where we die, that the green flag that we so daily cherish might wave high o'er the hills round Dunloy. As they lie on the ground, their blood flowing, without mercy they're shot in the chest. So farewell to our gallant sons of Ireland. Mother Erin, they sleep.
Indeed, folks. So see us all on the 2nd of December. Hopefully, a few more people will go buy some tickets. It's went well so far. Obviously, I think we're over halfway the tickets sold. So, listen, hopefully we'll give another big push, closer to the time. But we're just sort of gradually every week on social media and stuff, just advertising it and letting people know what's happening. So, great to see when I was sending away the wristbands last week. So there's people there from Germany's coming, lots of people from Scotland's coming, loads of people from England's coming over, and you've ones from all over the south, Cork, Donegal, and Dublin. You've all people from the north coming from Lurgan, everywhere, lots from Belfast. So there is a good pile going, but actually we still need to get a few more shifted, so do, because we need to get the bands paid for, so we do. So yep, we don't sell enough tickets. We had to cut one of the bands, only joking. Nah, listen, the gig, I'm hoping and praying will sell out, but we'll see closer to the time. I'm sure we can maybe let a few in on the night about the pay in, but it's going to be a great gig, folks. You've seen it's our 3rd year of the big fans gathering, so this year's going to be taking place in the Sarsfields Club in West Belfast, just down the street here from me. So it is. So again, there's the lineup if any of you didn't see the thing. So I'll be opening up, just playing a few songs. Then we'll have Kev O'D, Kevin O'Driscoll, who laddies will all know from basically Lockdown. He's one of the big sort of main ones playing the songs and doing the live streams in Lockdown. Shay Doolan then is obviously travelling over from Belfast or from Liverpool for the weekend. I've managed to get him another couple of gigs in the Rock and Nancy Mulligan as well that weekend. So as well as the gig he's playing for us on the Saturday night. And then the main act for the 3rd year in a row, headline is Clover, come from County Limerick. Folks, tickets are £15 and you can buy them there from my merchandise website. You can see the bottom of the poster, rebelpodcast.bigcartel.com. You get your tickets more if you just don't want to do it there. Just send us a wee PM. If you're local, I can sort you out and come deliver them to the house or whatever out there. But there's no hassles that kind of way. And of course, the next day we're doing the after party again. That's going to be in the same venue. So the after party the next day is going to be obviously we're doing a live podcast again. Starts off from 1 o'clock to 5 o'clock in the Sarsfields, and on the day it's going to be myself. I'll be playing the tunes and doing the podcast. Plus, we're going to have 2 sets from Kev O'D, who's staying up from Dublin for the weekend. He's probably going home that night maybe, and then Kieran Mack. So Kieran, apologies, I've spelt your name wrong on that poster there, mate. I know you probably you were like, what the hell is this? When I first put it out, I may have to get the poster changed, put your name correctly spelt on it, because I wouldn't like that. So, but so Kieran's going to be singing as well. I did want to get him involved this year. Obviously, he played on the main night last year, so we did. So yeah, that's the after party, folks. All free admission on the Sunday, so it is. So from 1 to 5, the after party of the big fans gathering 3 in Sarsfields. So yeah, if you want to get tickets, folks, just go to rebelpodcast.bigcartel.com. And again, if any of you have bought online tickets and they haven't arrived yet, should be with you early this coming week, because most of the people all got them. So if they haven't got them yet, let me know and I'll chase it up, because I have all the receipts for all the postage I've done for them. So hopefully you do all have them by this week, your wristbands for this year's big fans gathering. Right there, let's see, back to a few comments. What do I have? Where are we? Don't forget White Rock. What did I tell you, Marty? I'm going to give you yours next week, alright? Jesus Christ. James, yeah, an after party all the way down to the Rock to buy a row of beer and watch him stay Dave again. Well, if I'm not off work the next day, I may be heading down to the Rock that night, so maybe we'll see. But yeah, so that night Shay is going to be playing the Rock bar at night as well. So he is. I think he's going to be doing Nancy Mulligan's that afternoon, and then he's going to be the main act that night in Nancy. So he is, in the Rock. So yeah, should be a good after party back down in the Rock that evening. Right, so what song do I have lined up next? Where are we? What did I do? Did I done? Where was it? Yeah, so seeing earlier on there that Anne-Marie had says about her mother. And so sure, her mother is from Pomeroy, and we were talking about Marty obviously recording the Mountains of Pomeroy for the Stories of the Land album. So while this is sort of like the Marty Healy day, we had him on the show. We're going to play another song here from him, because it's a beautiful song this here. Definitely maybe not rebel-ish at all, but it's a lovely song. And this is from the Stories of the Land, the Shanley section. So Anne-Marie Barkley, this one spicy for you. So this is Marty Healy with the Mountains of Pomeroy on Rebel Sundays.
The dawn was breaking bright and fair, and the lark sang in the sky. When a maid she bound her golden hair with a blithe glance in her eye. For who beyond in the gay green wood was awaiting her with joy? Oh, who but her gallant Brennerdyne in the mountains of Pomeroy? Dear love, she said, I am so afraid for the foeman's force and you. They have tracked you in the lowland plain and all the valleys through. My kinsmen frown when you are named, your life they would destroy. Beware, they say, of Rennerdyne in the mountains of Pomeroy. Fear not, sweetheart, he cried. Fear not the foe for me. Though chains shall bind, whate'er betide, the arm that will be free. Oh, leave your cruel kin and come when the lark is in the sky. It's with my life I'll guide you round the mountains of Pomeroy. Well, at dawn it broke, she rose and fled from her cruel kin and home. All full of love, she's down the glen and up the mountainside. But the mist came down and the tempest roared and all around destroyed. And the pale drowned bright Beth Rennerdyne in the mountains of Pomeroy. An outlaw man in the land forlorn, he scorned and fled to fly. But he kept the cause of freedom safe on the mountains of Pomeroy. But he kept the cause of freedom safe on the mountains of Pomeroy.
Yeah, what a song there, folks. That was The Mountains of Pomeroy by Marty Healy, who we had on earlier on the show. So that was for Anne-Marie Barkley there. Not sure if you said it, but your mummy was from Pomeroy or your granny was, but that one's spicy for you, Anne-Marie. Right, folks, any more requests? You want any more songs you're on the show today? Again, just put them in the comments section. I haven't got through them yet. I'll try and get them on before 4 o'clock this afternoon. Right, what else was saying? Anything by Cruncher for Jim McKeff. So it was your mum. Okay, no problem. Let's see. Anne-Marie says, yeah, great Tyrone song. Let's see. So what actually time is the girls' match on today at? Is it 4:30 or something? So it'll be interesting to see what way there goes. If the results sort of have to go their way as well. Other matches, don't they? To see if they can lift it. But So, folks, next Saturday, if you're about, obviously next Saturday we'll lift the cup. So we do. So it's the penultimate match of the season. So no, that's I deleted the wrong bloody one. That was no. So next Saturday I'm going to be down Nancy Mulligan's, folks, from 11:30. Obviously I think it's a 12:30 kick-off against Aberdeen. That's trophy day. So Jerry Og, there's a few other ones playing throughout the afternoon in down Nancy Mulligan. So I'll be there from 11:30. Then obviously the match will be on. Hopefully we'll be playing a few goal celebration tunes this week. Didn't get the opportunity last week, seeing I got chinned by the cream buns. And the less enough talked about there as possible. So yeah, and then I'll be on for another hour afterwards. And then we're literally getting wrapped up and heading straight to Crossmaglen for this gig here, folks. Or is it Jamie's gig? So if any of you are about to Crossmaglen next week or in that area, pop in to the Cross Square Hotel. This is for the night to remember Jamie, former player, with Finnan. So one of the nights going to be Finnan, Stefan, the Coolies, and myself, DJ Rowe as well. So really honoured, glad to be part of this here. So cheers to John and the rest of the lads there for asking me to be part of this here gig. So I think it's £10 in, folks. All donations are going to the local youth club in Crossmaglen. So it's very, very worthy charity. And of course, it'd be a great night there in memory of a great man like from Crossmaglen. Obviously, he's taken far, far too soon. Which, like a lot of people these days, you just see every day somebody else has passed away, and you're going, Jesus, that's crazy, whatever. And yeah, so really, really honoured to be asked to take part in this gig next Saturday night. So hopefully see a few years at it, folks. Right, so what do I have lined up next? What would go do? Right, so James, he was looking for Bick with Terrorist or Dreamer. Sold that one now. That's another one that was on our Rebs for Hope the album. So again, cheers to Bick for letting us use this here tune. Still, anytime I've been the Rock, yet the same play this here song live. Anytime I've asked him, he's like, oh, it's too long. I don't really like playing in here and all, whatever and stuff. And or you normally at the end of the set, they'd be like, oh, you should have asked me at the start of the set. I mean, but as a DJ, that's sort of the same way I get around playing, by not playing a song maybe I don't want to do. You get people, you know, it's 10 minutes near the end going, I play this here, you're like, oh, you should have asked me earlier on, and I played it. I probably wouldn't have played it, like, if they had asked me at the start of the night. But it's one of the, like, I get a clause of sort of playing a song, or not playing a song you don't really want to do, you know what I mean? But lucky enough, I can play it here, all 7.5 minutes of it. So James, this one is especially for you, mate. Thanks for the donation today, mate. Much appreciated. So this is Bick McFarlane, folks, with Terrorist or Dreamer on Rebel Sundays. Here we go.
Sackville Street, the curfew drove the restless side to side. The black and tans marched up and down, the moon shone cold and bright. The shot was like a whip crack, pulled the first man off his feet. He died on bloody cobblestones while his comrades combed the street. They called up reinforcements, pulled the people from their beds. They were screaming, get the bastard, but its fear was in their heads. Found him in a cellar, he was only 17, fighting for his country, dying for green. The sergeant dragged him by the hair and beat him to the ground. Into this young man's body he emptied every round. Come out and take a look, he cried, as he marched his troops away. They went in stony silence, such a price to have to pay. some knelt and prayed beside him. Ah, but it's too late anyhow. They said he was a rebel then, he's a hero now. In 66 this country sang the praises of the dead. We didn't call them rebels then, we used patriot instead. On every household TV screen we saw how hard they fought, how they spilled their life's blood, how freedom had been bought. The garden gates were opened up to silent motorcades. Cannons boomed and flags unfurled, solemn wreaths were laid. Prayers for those departed were called for loud and clear. For those who had been outlawed, ah, but that was another year. Veterans lined up stiff and proud, their white hair ruled the wind, with their pride pinned to their gabardines, the thoughts upon their friends, and bitter wounds burst open, the scars of history went flying into our faces in stark reality. Just up the road from Sackville Street, ah, but things are different now. They said he was a rebel then, he's a hero now. Along the Falls Road soldiers push their glances left and right. Kids of the English working class, soldiers overnight, tossed into the melting pot of bloody war and strife, never understanding and fearing for their lives. Outside the Glen Road Brewery, oh, the bomb takes two away. The bomber's work is over, he's finished for the day. The terrorist or the dreamer, or the savage or the brave, it depends whose vote you're trying to catch, whose face you're trying to save. There's tea and cakes in Downing Street, there's whispers in the hall. Let's move the cure Odisha, now our backs are to the wall. There's panic down in Leinster House, where words are seldom scarce. Send someone to Glasnevin quick to remember Patrick Pearse. Once more his crucifixion, it seems a lie somehow. They said he was a rebel then, he's a hero now. Once more his crucifixion, well, it seems a lie somehow. They said he was a rebel then, he's a hero now. He's a hero now.
There we go, that is Pick McFarlane with Terrorist or Dreamer. Especially with James McCleave, that one there, you go, all 7 minutes and 23 and a half seconds of it, to be precise. So always good to play that song on the show. Right, what do we have? Another 35 minutes or so left, folks, so if there are any songs you want, get them in the comment section if you're watching. Of course, we're streaming live today on Facebook, YouTube and Twitter, multi-streaming through to 4 o'clock. And again, don't forget, folks, next Sunday, so we are going to be here next week. Ideally, we shouldn't be here. It should be the 3rd of June, should be the next show, because we're not going to be here on the 3rd of June. Go to a show next Sunday. So next week it's going to be our end of season sort of a Celtic review, featuring 3 great guests live on screens: Tony Whitelaw, Keith Corcoran, and Tony Coleman, who you all know obviously so much equally about the hoops. So we'll be discussing basically about Ange, about the upcoming cup final, about this season, about how we've sort of limped over the line this last few games, and various other things. So looking forward to that, and we'll obviously have loads of Celtic songs on next week's show for our end of season review. And then obviously the weekend after, the 3rd of June, which is when the show should be on, we're all going to be in Shannon, folks. So if any of you that want to head down, say this isn't like a official trip, there's no tickets or nothing involved, so we just sort of made the decision like it was last year. We want to go for like a sort of a night away to go and see Clover playing. Obviously they've not playing for us now 3 times, and we sort of want to return the favour, go and see M's play. So probably the best gig going to, Paul told me, was they're playing on the 3rd of June in the Wolftown GA Club in Shannon in County Clare. So it's a free admission, there's no tickets or anything, folks, so doors open at probably, I'd say, 8 o'clock or something. But that is the day of the cup final when Celtic plays Inverness. So I'd say we'll probably be watching the match in here as well. I know there's a Celtic sort of, a lot of Celtic supporters in and around Shannon. I have a lot of family down there who are all big Celtic fans who will probably be watching the match in here. So we'll need to get down here pretty early to watch this here. So, folks, if any want to go, say we're not arranging anything, so it's more or less saying, listen, just show up on the day. So if you want to go, it's on Saturday the 3rd of June, the Wolftones GAC in Shannon in County Clare. And we'll see you. Don't, we'll all just go have a few drinks, have a bit of crack, and watch Clover playing live in their own back garden. So I'm really looking forward to it, just getting a wee day away. Plus Laura is driving there and back. I don't have to do any driving. I do enough driving during the week, so I can just sit there, have a few beers, drive down the road, and let her do all the driving, because she hates me driving anyway. For someone that's meant to be a professional driver, I'm not very professional when I'm driving the car. I'm probably the worst person in the world to be in a car with. So I'll say it, yeah, Laura, my wife, definitely is a better driver than me when it comes to the motor anyway. Right, so what I'm going to do next, somebody had asked for Cruncher earlier on there. So we're going to do, let's see, that's what James says. Shannon will be a brilliant night out. If any of you want to join us, more the merrier. Kathleen says, yeah, I've already booked the tickets. 4 of us were there, the last one. For Mana fans, 1 dub. And we were quiet that night. We were only before Clover started. There we go. So I promise I'll try not to be sick into your goodie bag this year, Kathleen. So, because that night when I was home, I was embarrassed. Like, I was in a bad way. So I was, from what I was told by Laura, I crawled up the stairs in tears. I don't know what maybe she was taking the piss or whatever. I don't know, but I was in a bad way. But I blame Kieran Mack for them. He started off the shots at night, and I don't do shots. And whenever I do, I always get into a mess. And that night, I think it was something like 12 rounds of shots, but of all various different flavours, shapes, sizes, whatever. And there was a lot of them. I can still think of it now. The one person that bought Sambucas, and I absolutely hate Sambuca. I hate the smell of it. Hate even more the taste of it. I think there was 3 rounds of Sambuca shots bought that evening. I can still taste it in my mouth now. Hate it. Right, so Marty, I had a list of songs. Yep, you were sideways that night. Is that Culty saying, is it, Kathy? You were sideways? Right, so somebody asked for Cruncher. So the song we're going to play now, right, is this is like a live recording that Cruncher done, right? It was recorded when he was out in so if Craigie is still watching, we'll do this one for you, Craigie Mix. I know you like a song. So Cruncher was out, actually, I think he was playing in Cambodia or something. If you go on the YouTube and search for Cruncher, Che Guevara on the road again, you basically see a picture of me standing in some some kind of traditional Cambodian sort of tap or something, like a whatever they were over there, and he has a guy beside him, and he's playing the guy playing the bore on this song is just phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. We just listen to it. The guy is just up there. So it's not great quality, this here video. It's basically just Cruncher and this guy standing out in a field somewhere playing this song, and somebody just standing with a mobile phone, I'm assuming, probably like a Nokia 3210. It was that long ago. It was that it was recorded. But this song was dedicated to the Brian Moore. So it was when you hear Cruncher. Actually, I'll play the start of it. Cruncher talks about he wanted to do this. I think Brian Moore just died. So he had. And Cruncher actually was out in Cambodia. Probably couldn't get back for the wake and the funeral. So he done this here tribute to him. So this is a song all about the legendary Che Guevara. The song is called Che Guevara's on the Road Again. And it's a Cruncher. And I'm not sure who it was playing the boron, but whoever you are, mate, you're phenomenal. So have we listen, folks. Here we go. It was Angkor in Wat, Cambodia. That's what it says on the screen anyway.
All right, folks. It's Rowan. You know me, Cruncher. If you're on this side, you know who I am. I'd like to do a wee tribute. I'm away. We're away on tour in Cambodia, and we're at the Elephant Terrace. And I just want to say farewell to my friend. I think he was buried 2 days ago, and Slán Lebacardia, Slán Leb. What a genius. Where you go, bro? Here was a guy just built for the task. He was one of the best you've ever seen. He'd Spanish blood, he'd a touch of Basque, and wouldn't you know he did a drop of the green. Sung on the motorcycle in the glen, Che Guevara's on the road again. Sung on the motorcycle in the glen, oh Che Guevara's on the road again. Down in Argentina, such a mighty fine life, but a little Che Guevara, you've got it bad. Living in a world of trouble or strife, and you're serving your time at the medical tread. Got a sound of the motorcycle in the glen, hot Che Guevara's on the road again. Hear the sound of the motorcycle in the glen, Che Guevara's on the road again. Norton 500, take him out of town, gonna see how the world really lies. Poverty grinding the peasant down, oh, the motorcycle journey turned it opened his eyes. Sung on the motorcycle in the glen, Che Guevara's on the road again. Sung on the motorcycle in the glen, and Che Guevara's on the road again. There was this guy, Che Guevara, everywhere you'll hear his cry. He leads his men into Santa Clara, this is a name that will never die. Sung on the motorcycle in the glen, Che Guevara's on the road again. Sung on the motorcycle in the glen, Che Guevara's on the road again. Every day learning more and more, come the day he meet Fidel. He's sailing towards Cuban shore, he's gonna give Batista hell. Sung on the motorcycle in the glen, of Che Guevara's on the road again. Hear the sound of the motorcycle in the glen, Che Guevara's on the road again. Whoa. Bolivia spreading the word of the CIA, they want him gone. They swear they'll stop his voice being heard, kill the man, but the dream lives on. Sung on the motorcycle in the glen, oh Che Guevara's on the road again. Sung on the motorcycle in the glen, Che Guevara's on the road again. He was a guy just built for the task. He was one of the best you've ever seen. He had Spanish blood, he'd a touch of Basque, and you know he did a drop of the cream. Sung on the motorcycle in the glen, Che Guevara's on the road again. Sung on the motorcycle in the glen, Che Guevara's on the road again. Yeah. Sung on the motorcycle in the glen, Che Guevara's on the road again. Slam, Brent.
That was just phenomenal there. So it was a cruncher, and obviously it was called the guy Ronan playing that there at the Boron. That was just, and what's that video? It's just him standing there, two of them in the middle of a field. The guy, there's no mix or nothing involved. He's just standing with a Boron, that wee small stick. And it's just that Boron playing there was just phenomenal. So it was, especially the wee solo bit in the middle was brilliant. So yeah, that was a tribute to Brian Moore. From his lifelong friend Cruncher. So it was who had sadly just passed away, and Cruncher couldn't get over to the funeral because he was over in Cambodia of all places. So he was. Right, let's see. Kieran says, "What have I done now?" Well, obviously, Kieran, we were just talking about they were talking about the shape I was in at last year and the big fans gathering on the Sunday night in the Rock, about me being sick and Kathleen's bag of Christmas presents for the lads from Clover that she didn't get to give to them. So I had to say the book instead of all of her niece's car. And I had said it was all your fault, because it was all your fault. You started the shots. She did the rounds of shots. I think you brought the first one down, and it was just downhill. So it was from there on in, Kieran. So yeah, that's you done. I'm blaming you for being, what do you call it? For being sideways, or as Jones McGuy says in Derry, we say we're hitting both sides of the street. The shucks. Well, there you go. Sydney Deering, that was great. Yeah, cheers, Sydney. Yeah, it's a brilliant song. Phenomenal. Like, just Cruncher is just the man. So yes. So yeah, fair play to Ronan there on the Boron as well. Right, so 25 minutes to go of the day's show. Somebody in the comments earlier on there was looking for My Old Man's a Provo. So if it was you, let us know who it was there, and we'll get it on. I'm going to play it now, sorry, but if it was you, just type in the comments again there, and I'll give you a shout out to whoever it was asking for My Old Man's a Provo, because I cannot find it. Here we go. So it's the Irish Brigade recorded live in Dublin a few years ago, obviously, anyway. One of their two live. Sydney says, need to change the subject from book. Very, very sorry, Sydney. We'll not talk about it again. Yeah, okay, here we go.
More recent song this time. This is one I sort of changed the words to somewhere along the line. A song called My Old Man. My Old Man's a Provo.
Right, so this one's from Mark Reed there. Just seen him saying that was me looking for My Old Man's a Provo. Do you mean Provo or do you mean Provo? She mean Provo anyway. Here we go.
Well, my old man's a Provo with a very undergun. I haven't seen him lately. He's always on the run. He looks so really trendy in his shades and DM boots, far cooler than all other dads in ties and shirts and suits. Well, the Brits and police harass me each time when I go out. They ask me if I've seen my dad and if he's been about. I say, mind your own business, just leave me alone. You sure are only jealous, you've no fathers of your own. Well, my old man, the Provo, that very underground, I haven't seen him lately. He's always on the run. He looks so really trendy in his shades and DM boots, far cooler than those other dads in ties and shirts and suits. On RTV the other night, a cop came on to say, give us information about the IRA. He showed a Provo unit on security TV. I know one was me daddy, but he stopped and waved at me. Well, my old man, the Provo, with a very undergun, I haven't seen him lately. He's always on the run. He looks so really trendy in his shades and DM boots, far cooler than those other dads in ties and shirts and suits. At Christmas time it's lonely when daddy's not at home. The Brits are watching everywhere, they've even tapped our phone. Last Christmas Eve they staked out all our windows and our doors, when climbing down the chimney came a Provo Santa Claus. Oh, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to join provisional IRA. Oh, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to join provisional IRA. Well, my old man's a provo with a berry and a gun. I haven't seen him lately, he's always on the run. He looks so really trendy in his shades with the boots. Are cooler than in ties and shirts and suit. My dad has got me worried, I think he's going soft. There's half a ton of fertilizer stowed up in our loft. Are you gonna be a farmer, Dad? I asked him just for fun. He said, don't be a need you, pass a coffee grinder, son. Well, my old man's a polo with a berry and a gun. I haven't seen him lately, he's always on the run. He looks so really trendy in his shades and the boots. Far cooler than those other dads in ties and shirts and suits. My daddy's up in long case now, and it's just not right. I'll say a special prayer for him when I go to bed tonight. The day it was his birthday, I sent him in a cake. There was Semtex in the candles, he'll be out before I wake. Well, my old man, the provo, the berry and the plum. I haven't seen him lately, he's always on the run. He looks so really friendly, the shades of the boots. Far cooler than those other dads. Well, now the guns are silent and the fighting all will cease. And just like all those other dads, my dad will be released. Ah, but the Brits, they want a guarantee that he will keep the peace. So they're making him a sergeant in the IRA police. Well, my old man's a provo with a berry and a gun. I haven't seen him lately, he's always on the run. He looks so really trendy in his shades and DM boots. Far cooler than those other dads in ties and shirts and suits. Far cooler than those other dads in ties and shirts and suits.
There we go. Hey, that's my old man's a provo there with the Irish Brigade, especially for Mark. Read that one, there you go, Mark. Right, so we'll have about 20 minutes left of the day's show for you folks. So it's looking like the Leeds are going down. If there's any Leeds fans there, just get hammered 3-1 there by West Ham. I'm sure it's probably made it even worse seeing Big Sam used to be manager of West Ham. He got the M's relegated, did he? And it's looking like he's be going to getting Leeds relegated as well now, so he is. But I think even Big Sam, which is the miracle worker that he is, wasn't in quick enough to keep Leeds up this year. Sure, there you go. Maybe they should have held on to Bielsa and then made have been this here situation now, so they might have been. Right, what are we on? Let's see any more comments coming through. Maura is away, no problem, Maura. I'll see you next week, hopefully. Cheers for tuning in today. Right, that's everything. So we're going to do some more tonight. A couple weeks ago, the last show we played, we're going to do there's two original songs that Clover have recorded. So there was the Bloodshed in the Valley, and this one we're going to do the Ballad of Con Colbert. Actually, Peter wrote this one himself, so he did, and they've never recorded these two songs or released them. They were recorded for an album they were going to do, a live album they were going to do at the Thomond Park. EP was done, but it was never released. But I still think that the quality of both songs is very good. So to Paul, Paul had sort of said they were thinking about obviously going to maybe get in the recording show maybe later on this year or next year and recording both these songs because obviously they're two really good bits of work and they should be singing them a lot more at their gigs. You know what I mean? So obviously. I'm always going to support the lads. Any original stuff, I'll play it. So go do the Ballad of Con Colbert today. It's probably the more lively of the two of them Bloodshed in the Valley. So this is Clover, folks, with their own original track, the Ballad of Con Colbert on Rebel Sundays. Don't forget, they will be playing live at this year's Big Fans Gathering, headlining the gig once again for the third year in a row. Right, Clover, here we go.
Again, a song written by the band, a song about one of the leaders from 1916, one of the unsung heroes of 1916.
Have a listen. He was shot in Kilmainham jail in May 1916 for God and for country, for Ireland the Queen. 27 years of age, he fought or died for what he was. Con Colbert from West Limerick, rebel leader with a cause. I'm sitting here in Colbert Station on that bleak December day. My thoughts cast to a hero who's known by few today. Forgotten hero of a path, freedom fighter to the last. Con Colbert is a story of a leader's fighting way. Back in 1908, Colbert joined the IFE. Gina Erin quickly followed for to set our country free. The gallant Captain Colbert, an Irish volunteer, side by side with Piercy fought for cause of Division Day.
He was shot in Kilmaine in jail in May 1916. For God and for country, for Ireland green. 27 years of age, he fought or died for what he was. Con Colbert from West Limerick, rebel leader with a cause.
Upon the 1916 rising of the soldiers' little state, commanded men and walking through Reed and Marrowbone Lane. When they were ordered to surrender, Colbert assumed command to save the lives of his comrades for God and country. Oh, they were marched to Richmond Barracks and Fort Marshall by the Crown. Transferred to Kilmaine and jail execution handed down. I'm proud to die for the cause, they were his final words. When arms presented and shots fired, Colbert got his nation proud.
He was shot in Kilmaine and jail in May 1916. For God and for country, for Ireland green. 27 years of age, he fought or died for what he was. Con Colbert from West Limerick, rebel leader with a cause.
No, he was not a statesman or a man of intellect. They shot him down by firing squad, but his memory will reflect of a working class hero, a brave soldier to the fray. Captain Cornelius Colbert killed in dawning of day.
He was shot in Kilmaine and jail in May 1916. For God and for country, for Ireland green. 27 years of age, he fought or died for what he was. Con Colbert from West Limerick, rebel leader with a cause. He was shot in Kilmaine and jail in May 1916. For God and for country, for Ireland green. 27 years of age, he fought or died for what he was. Con Colbert from West Limerick, rebel leader with a cause. Con Colbert from West Limerick, rebel leader with a cause.
There we go, folks. It's Clover there, folks, with the Ballad of Con Colbert. So it was, obviously, it was recorded for Live at Thomond Park EP. So it was never released. So I think the band are talking about maybe going into the studio to record it over the next couple of months or next year anyway. So they are. So yeah, it's a great track. So fair play to Peter for writing that one. And I really would like to see them actually properly recording it and sort of properly going out and sort of singing it at their gigs. Hey, where's my face? It's trying to find out my screen has just went all frozen here. So I'm trying to find out where the hell it is. There we go. Right, so yeah, it's seen. So Marty had just said there. He said, "Did you see that their excuse for a fry, the tag I put up this morning?" I seen that there himself, and I said, "What the hell is this here? That's not a bloody fry. What the hell is he eating? Like I've never seen a bloody a fry with a piece of bloody is it lettuce or what the hell did he have on it? Not sure. Where the hell is it now? I downloaded the picture of it to put it on, but I can't really find it now. Where the hell are you? Tag, where is your fry? Did I download it? Can I find the bloody thing? It was that bad. It's hiding itself, doesn't even want to be seen on screen. So it doesn't. Where the hell are you now? Just for anybody that mightn't have seen the bloody excuse for a... Well, maybe we'll see. We'll download it again here and see where are you. The picture. Right, download. Right, where's there? It's definitely you can handle that there, shit, up in West Belfast. If you're into the coffee house, see, where's it, and ask for this thing, or you ask for a fry, and they're gonna hand it to you, and you'd probably throw it back at Jim again, so you would. State of it. This is the big revealing. Everyone, Jesus Christ, folks, is that all it was like? So this is what the tag had said. Yeah, ready for the match this morning here, folks. And like, what is this? Like, what is that? Meant to be an egg underneath that hash brown there. Like, this is too. Like, for me, black pudding and white pudding, they're no go. Definitely don't mind hash brown on a fry, but mushrooms definitely not. So, folks, see the rest of you. What's your ideal fry? For me, now, it'd be sort of sausages, bacon, obviously egg, potato bread, soda bread, and beans at night. For me, a lot of people say no beans on a fry, but me, definitely beans. Like, but this thing here is definitely a sad excuse for. I don't know what the hell it is, but it's definitely not a fry anyway. So it doesn't tag. So that wouldn't have filled you up for a day of drinking anyway. So it wouldn't, or whatever you've been doing. Like, so. Right, what do we have here? We're another 10 minutes left, so we're going to try. I haven't got another song lined up. See, Kathleen says, Marty, JT, and Roe have bigger mouths. He might be on a diet. Let's see. Terry, is Terry away in as well, is she? Terry says, great show as always, Roe. Thanks. I've got to go. Stay safe, everyone. Well, frig you, Terry. If you don't want to stay with the rest of us for the rest of the show, you're not welcome back next week, so don't be coming back, all right? See, a full plate sets you up for the day, Marty. No beans, soda bread, or spud bread, or pancake. Well, but Marty, these people are in the south. You know what I mean? Like, it's you go in there, you can't get a fry in the south. You get an Irish breakfast. Let's see, Mark. Obviously, he's over in Scotland. He says links, square sausage, beans, hash brown, egg, bacon, tally scone, haggis, and black. That's some breakfast there, but it's definitely not for me. Haggis, like, or I don't know if I've ever told you that. the funny one. I was over in training. I might have said this before in the show. I can't remember when we were talking about these fries that come up before. I was over training in or was it Cambuslang when I used to work on DHL, right? So they sent me over to train for the week for training on the kegs, whatever it was, the returns of them, whatever. And so they had like a canteen in the DHL main depot. So I went in and said to the girl, so I went over to get a cup of tea. He says, give us 2 bits of bacon, 2 sausages, an egg, and 2 potato bread, right? So I was looking, and I seen potato bread in the Banbury. So I came back, and she had on the plate 2 bits of bread and butter, 2 bits of bread. Oh, here, Mark, DHL, that's who I work for, trade team was. So that's what they sent me over to Cambuslang depot to train. And the returns called like ullage. So it is. So that's what I was over there for. But anyway, so then, and on the plate they had 2 bits of bread and butter and 2 hash browns. And I was like, no, love, I said, give us 2 potato breads. She says, that's what it is, potato on bread. I says, no. I says, 2 of them, and I point, and she says, oh no, they're tatty scones. I says, no, that's potato bread. I said, well, either way, get that bloody bread and butter off and get the bloody 2 tatty scones on. Right, let's see. James says, yeah, I've tried haggis twice in Scotland, never again. Celine, this in our proper West Belfast one day. Sausage, bacon, egg, no tomatoes, nope, potato bread, soda bread, mushrooms, nope. And definitely not brown sauce. No way. No brown. I can't have brown sauce in anything. Never mind on a fry, but definitely not brown sauce for me. Make me hungry now, talking about these bloody fries. Right, so what we're going to do, we're going to do a bit of Kathleen Logging now. So we'll do the Legion of the Rear Guard. Here we go. So the last couple of songs of the day showed. Folks, if you're enjoying the show, please drop us a few wee quid or a few big quid, whatever you want, up to yourselves, by PayPal or Revolut or whatever. You can see the wee links there on the screen. There and there. Just scan your phone over them and it'll bring you straight to the link. You can send them whatever you want, big or small, folks. So cheers. And again, thanks to everybody today has donated. Much appreciated as always. So it keeps the show going, keeps me here on a Sunday for 3 hours talking shite and playing good tunes. But if I didn't have the sort of donations I have, I wouldn't be able to keep obviously all the software I have running that I have to pay for every month to keep this going. So folks, you're all legends, so thank you. Right, so this is Kathleen Loggy, folks, on the flying column with the Legion of the Rearguard.
Legion of the Rearguard, answering to Ireland's call. Hark, the martial tramp is heard from Cork to Donegal. Tone and Emmet guide us, though your task be hard. Jimmy Steele will lead us, soldiers of the Legion of the Rearguard. Of the Republic we raise our battle cry. Pierce and McDermott will pray for them on high. Eager and ready, for love of you we die. Proud marches, soldiers of the Rearguard. Legion of the Rearguard, answering to Ireland's call. Hark, the martial tramp is heard from Cork to Donegal. Your task be hard. Jimmy Steele will lead us, soldiers of the Legion of the Rearguard. Cork, Kerry, Wexford, Tipperary, Clare, Galway to Dublin, Tyrconnell to Kildare. None shall be missing, all Ireland will be there. Wait for the soldiers of the Rearguard. Legion of the Rearguard, answering to Ireland's call. Hark, the martial tramp is heard from Cork to Donegal. Tone and Emmet guide you, though your task be hard. Jimmy Steele will lead us, soldiers of the Legion of the Rearguard. The cribs and the roadside, the prison wall, the cave, proof of their valor, the sleeping peachy brave. Comrade, tread lightly, you're near a hero's grave. Proud die the soldiers of the Rearguard. Legion of the Rearguard, answering to Ireland's call. Hark, the martial tramp is heard from Cork to Donegal. Tone and Emmet guide you, though your task be hard. Jimmy Steele will lead us, soldiers of the Legion of the Rearguard.
Go on, Kathleen there. Kathleen Loggy, Kathleen Thompson, whatever. That's the Legion of the Rearguard on Rebel Sundays. Folks, we're going to finish up with one more song. We haven't played Jackie Duddy on the show in a while, so we're going to finish up with that today, just for old time's sake. So listen, thanks to all of you for tuning in today. Thanks for Marty Healy for coming on. Brilliant interview. You're a legend, mates, you are. Kay Whelan, thanks, Ro. Brilliant show, thank you very much. James Deb McClave. I still think Rose should try and get back on for an interview. I would sponsor that show if we could make it happen. Mate, listen, it's not about the money or whatever. It's about busy getting back on to do it, you know what I mean? And it's I think ideally I would like to try and get back on to do like a sort of a standalone interview, you know what I mean? Like the way we've done with like Joe Austin and a few of the other ones coming in and record it and maybe put it up on the YouTube. But I think obviously coming on live, somebody with sort of the background that Beck has, he has to be very careful what he says, you know what I mean? And he maybe not want to incriminate himself if there's a question asked or something. I understand that way. And it's, I mean, I have asked him before about doing it, and that was maybe about 2 years ago the last time I asked him. And like I said, I don't really want to torture the guy to see if he can come on, you know, but listen, well, maybe see if we can get back on. You know, it is the most person asked when people sort of say about getting guests on and be always like, try and get back on the show. I know it will be a phenomenal interview, you know what I mean? He'll come on and do a brilliant interview. So we'll see what happens, James, and I'll definitely look into it. So, okay. So leave it with me. Let's see. Anne-Marie says, brilliant show as always. There's Anne-Marie. Paul, brilliant show today, Cara. Thank you very much, mate. Much appreciated. Let's see. Elaine says, my fraps are great, even if I do say so myself. Kathleen says, what's he say? He's impressing Destiny what? He's impressing Destiny Shaniqua. I have it from a so are you on my tag or what are you talking? Catherine, I haven't even a clue what you're talking about here, so I haven't, to be honest. Right, so we're going to finish up here, folks, the show with Jackie Duddy. So we haven't played it in the show in a while, and it's a brilliant song. You know, we'll play it at the end of the show for a good way, maybe at least a year anyway, so it is, every week. So, folks, again, thank you. Tag says, there he is, there's the man there with the bloody shady fry. Tag, long story. Well, how many acres do you have now? Tag, have you improved on the 2.5 acres that you had at the first big fans gathering? Hopefully, if you get a few more now, you might actually find yourself a woman. Do you know what I mean? I know in the south it's all about, it doesn't matter if you have a face like a spanner or a spade, as it's called, but as long as you have a few acres, you'll definitely pull a nice woman, so you will, you know. It's all about the land, isn't it? the front lead just doing well. Right, man, okay. Listen, folks, thanks very much to all of you for tuning in today. Much appreciated. And again, thanks to all of you who've let the donation. If you still can, if you want to, drop us a few quid. You can see the links there for PayPal and Revolut. Just give us a wee scan and send something through. So that's the last song of the day, folks. Until next week. So we're back next Sunday with our end of sort of season review show for the Celtic stuff. We'll have Tony Coleman, Tony Whitelaw and Keith Corkin on. And then the following week we aren't here because we're all going to be heading to Shannon. We're a good piss up on the Saturday. And after on Sunday we'll be absolutely Dan. What's wrong with a spanner face? Well, obviously not, Marty. There's not wrong with a spanner face because obviously Elaine took you in, didn't she? Right, so this is Jackie Duddy, folks from Rebel Sundays, and I'll see you all next week. Thank you. And a good luck as well to the women at Celtic Park today. Here we go.
Jackie, I remember your face from a far distant place. Yes, I do. Jackie, you were an innocent boy. Why did they destroy your future road to you? You came from a home of 9 sisters and 5 brothers. Up in the Craigan, you were my cousin. You worked with me brother Dusty, named after me father, down in springtime, tending looms. Jackie, you were just 17 when they shattered your dreams, and we never got over it. Jackie, you'd have found a good wife and had a wonderful life and raised your weans well. In 68, your mother Maureen, she died, and with Willie your father we cried. She was so very young. Her sister Dolly said if Maureen had survived, she'd have been in the coffin by your side. Your mother couldn't have coped. Jackie, you were good in the ring, 'cause that was your thing. You would have been a champion. Jackie, your nephew John did you proud. He's recognized by the crowd as fulfilling your ambitions. Your face is painted in murals down in the bog, and I pray to God that you'll not be forgotten. That day in 72, it's etched on our minds, the day that innocence died. They called it Bloody Sunday. Jackie, there were 13 others as well, more unfinished stories to tell. Jackie, 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 our Jackie, Jackie Duddy, On a summer's day in Derry in 2010, thousands gathered again, and the world had gone. The British government said sorry and admitted they're wrong. The clapping went on and on, the cheering went on and on. Jackie, your innocence was declared, your family's voices were heard after 38 years. Jackie, now you can rest in peace. The false accusations have ceased, the truth has been set free. Paddy Doherty, Gerald Donaghy, Hugh Gilmore and Michael Kelly, Michael McDade, Kevin McElhenney, Bernard McGuigan and Gerald McKinney, William McKinney, William Nash, James Ray, John Johnston, John Young and Jackie Duddy. Jackie Duddy.
Safi Aligaren, Queens are slow, her tien der rannikum, they buzz face hair, Shantir, a shinshir pasta, the akbar, Pantira, not and dots my in Sabar Noel, they gone their kill on was no sill, they gone their scrape, they labot now be lit, Charlotte cannon around now here.
You've been listening to Rebel podcast of Rory Carson. To listen to this and past episodes again, and to also check out future episodes, keep an eye on our official SoundCloud page. We're also available on all social media outlets. Just search Rebel podcast. Bhí sé bhgéisteach an sin leis an fád cruúlaí Rebel le Rory Carson. Le héisteach le seo agus hir hagran a ríis, agus na hagran atá le teacht, caisúil ar síomhfuil sugin ar SoundCloud, agus táid ar fáil ar gach cinneal ardan ar na main thuaisiilta. Ní mór dit ag fád cruúlaí Rebel a chuirda.